This is a KUGR sports production.
Good pass down low to Airstrip, and he scores off the glass.
Giving you play-by-play coverage of all your favorite WSU athletics.
He doesn't get it! He's stuck at the line!
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and more.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game.
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports to listen to every game live.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Never miss a moment with the best in the West. KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Gets the Cougs on the board with less than 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Here come the Cougs.
And now, back to the game.
You're listening to Cougar Hockey on KUGR.
Last night, the Cougars took game one. But tonight, the stakes rise. Gonzaga comes into this looking to even the weekend. But Washington State, the stakes are a little bit higher because it means more for four seniors as this is it. The final time they'll step onto this ice. Every stride, every shift is a last. A farewell in motion and one more game in the crimson sweaters for these guys. Four Cougars skating toward their final horn as we are here at the Palouse Ice Rink for the last game until September. I'm Zach McFarlane, joined by, of course, Smith Slye, Connor Simmons, wonderful behind the camera, and we are here. And again, you might think this is some meaningless game in March just to get the competition going, but for four guys, it is the last. And so for these seniors, Smith, I just got to ask, what might be the priority for them in this final game? Do they want the win? Do they want to have fun? What's it all about?
Well, you mentioned it there, Zach. This is not some throwaway game up in Rochester. This is senior night for Washington State. And for the seniors specifically, the four that are leaving this ice, this is their last game as a Coug. It is all about having fun. I say it all the time. It's fun to win, and you win when you have fun. And that's what they have to do right now. Have some fun. Your last moments as a Coug, your last moments wearing the crimson and gray. If you have fun, you will win this game, right? You just won the first game last night against Gonzaga, and now you have an opportunity to sweep them on the weekend. You're 2-3-0 against them so far this year. You swept them earlier in the year. Now you're doing another two-game series against them, this time at home. So, yes, it's all about having fun for the seniors, but, of course, you got to earn the fun. We hear Luke Nacci say that a lot. We heard that in the Idaho game, the one-off they did a few weeks ago, that they had to earn the fun, right? You had Keegan Lucas come out wearing the chrome visor, and we asked him about it. We're like, hey, so what was about that? It seems like you guys were having more fun in the third. And he said it was because they earned the fun. In the first two periods, they got out to that lead, and they earned the ability to have fun. So for the Cougs, it's all about getting out to a good start in this first period, earn the ability to have that fun. Because, again, it's fun when you win, and you win when you have fun.
No doubt about it. And that top line for Gonzaga gave the Cougars fits yesterday. Chen Yu-sun, Kochton, and Bowers, they were on the board quite a bit. Bowers with a hat trick to match Cole Carlson's, but of course, it was not enough to get the job done in a 7-5 win for the Cougars. What can the Cougars do a little bit better to kind of stop that top line today?
Well, Zach, it all comes down to grinding them down. As you mentioned, the top line, you look past that, and there's nothing really there for Gonzaga. It's a top line, very top-heavy team. So if you get to that second line, that third line, or fourth line, as I would say, you're not really going to get very much there, not that much depth. So if you can just pound that first line, grind them down, make them work, and you get to those second, third lines, you will be able to find success. And if you can keep that first line in check, kind of take away their ability to get on the board, then you will come away with the win. And like you said, that first line was really kind of testing the Cougs all night in that matchup last night. They were able to force turnovers in the D zone and then skate it 200 feet down ice, catch the Cougs sleeping a couple of times, and be able to score those goals. I mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The Cougs still win that game 7-5, but still a little too close for comfort for Washington State. Gonzaga's a team, and I realized it last night, they are a team that does not give up, not for a long shot. It doesn't matter how much they're down by, they will continue to push and make it a close game. Something you see a lot in the ACHA, and the reason why a lot of teams lose is because they give up. They give up at some point in the game, whether that's in the third period or in the second period, or sometimes even in the first period, depending on what the score is going to be. Gonzaga does not give up. They stay in that game 100%. They grind, they have grit, they put in 100% effort the entire 60 minutes. And so for the Cougs, it's going to come down to who wants it more on senior night. I imagine these four seniors are going to really want it, but if they kind of go to sleep a little bit at any point in this game, I would not be shocked if Gonzaga takes back the wheel and possibly sneaks out a win on senior night. But for the Cougs, you got to sneak out the win on senior night.
And even for the non-seniors, I think they'd want nothing more than to win this game for their seniors. The final one for them, of course, until they go on. But nonetheless, we will get going here very shortly. We're going to go right into lineups and the national anthem. But please do not go away. One final game for 4 men and the final game for 6 months until next season. We'll be right back with you on KUGR. Do not go away. He's going to go after me. I got to read Gonzaga's too. I forgot about that part. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final game of WSU versus Gonzaga. Here are your starting lineups for tonight. For Gonzaga, in net, number 32, Logan Claudia. At left defense, number 12, Jonas Nelson. At right defense, number 38, Logan Powers. At left wing, number 27, Mason Goshton. At center, number 19, Cole Bowers. At right wing, number 71, Chen Yu Sun. And now for your Washington State Cougars. In between the pipes, number 1. Thing on. In between the pipes, number 1, Cole Eastman. At left wing, the captain, number 24, Cole Carlson. And now for the Wazoo Seniors. Starting on this senior night at right wing, majoring in mechanical engineering and working in the sports science laboratory, number 23, Luke Jackson. At center, senior, majoring in marketing, number 58, Samuelisa Hovanen. At right defense, majoring in pre-nursing, number 3, Colin Keenan. And lastly, at left defense, majoring in management information systems, senior number 25, Sam Henry. Now please rise if you are able for the national anthem.
You're listening to Cougar Hockey on KUGR.
Welcome back. That beautiful national anthem. I'm not sure if you heard prior, the PA announcing a little bit off. The microphone could have been a bit better, and that's all right. It is all about the seniors tonight and nothing less and nothing more as we get set to get underway. 20 minutes, put it on the clock in the first period. Jurgensen, Carlson, Keenan, Sahovinen, and Hembry, and backed by Cole Eastman in the net, taking on this powerful top line of Gonzaga, and the faceoff is won by the Zags on Washington State senior night, and it's grabbed off by Logan Powers in behind the cage. It's left off in the opposite corner. There's Kochton again. Banks it out off the glass, and now racing after it, Bowers and Keenan. Keenan's able to get there first, and he's going to try and escape it out in behind the cage. Cannot do it. Bowers giving him fits, and then this one is sent around to the corner for Cole Carlson, who will chip it ahead. Taking this now, Jurgensen spinning away from trouble. Backhand passing one to Sahovinen. Beautiful move, and he tried to send one toward the front of the net. Loose puck is there, and it bounced back to the point. Hembry lets it go, and that one blocked down in front by a Gonzaga skate, and it is calmed down by Kochton. Well, they will try and break it out through center, but he will calmly regroup in his own zone. Kochton over the red line, just taking this himself. Tunnel vision down the ice, and he'll shoot one just wide of the far post, and Cole Eastman was prepared for that.
I love how evenly matched it is so far. Both Gonzaga and Wazoo kind of trading turns, breaking into the zone, and let's see if this continues through the first period.
Dump back in, settled down by Eastman. Taken by Lex Ballard. His brother did the national anthem on electric guitar. It was fantastic. Got the boys going, no doubt about it. Caden Cloutier can't hold it in, and so now Lazaro skating back in his own end, looking at his options, and he'll go to Maurer. Maurer will feather this one on to Smith at the red line, just quickly backhands this one in. Gillick and Bang will go in after it. Bang tried to nudge one away, and that one hit the linesman as Umale looked like he was going to grab possession of that, but did not. Van Rayner backhands one on. Lazaro going in below the goal line, and Brandon Smith trying to lay a big hit on Bang, could not, and now at the near wall. It will be banked out again, and this one will go all the way down from Oatman, clearing that, and Maurer settles it down in behind the Cougar cage. Not much action for both sides so far. Brandon Smith dangles around one. Skates horizontally and dumps it back in, but again, taken by the Zags, and Powers retrieves in behind and sends it around to his counterpart there. Gonzaga trying to clear it out below their red line. Powers kind of fought off that puck, and it makes its way to Kochton, and here comes that Gonzaga first line again. By the stick of Oatman, however, and back into possession of Ethan Maurer. And a little bit of sloppy play from both sides here so far in the first couple of minutes, and really no chances either way. This one kept in at the line momentarily by Gonzaga. Here's an opportunity. Kochton from the circle, a wrister, and that one is shrugged away by Eastman up and over the top of the net. Fought for in the corner. 4 to 5 man scrum there. 3 Cougars, 2 Zags, and Mullen is able to come out with it, but he is chased. Almost gave it up there to Bowers, and now settling it down is Robinson, and he will clear it ahead for Taylor. Bowers chips that one to the blue line. Chen Yu-sun had to come back and tag up, but he will spin that one right back into the zone. 17:05 to go in the first period. Nothing really going here for either team, but now a good forecheck from Gonzaga. Taylor trying to fire that one out of the zone. Can't do it. Mullen does on the rebound. Bowers calms it down at the blue line. Chen Yu-sun tags up, and Bowers speeds on by one. Bowers on the backhand, poked away by Robinson after a beautiful move on by Mullen. He had a goal last night in the contest, his first on the year. Robinson angles that one ahead for Bushkin. Shovels that one over for Evan King, who lost it in the skates, and he is reverse hit and crushed by Caden Cloutier. He goes down, and Robinson again in below his own goal line will settle it down for the Cougars as they try and get it out, but Kochton, being that menace he was all of last night, and a good forecheck from Gonzaga has them pinning the Cougars in their own zone. Cloutier with a wrister on net, and it is whistled down, and it is gloved by Eastman with 16:11 to go in period 1.
And you saw that hit of Caden Cloutier on Evan King in the neutral zone. That's something that you saw last night. Physicality. Gonzaga is not afraid to hit you, and they will hit you hard. They will go after your playmakers and make them scared to go to those places to make those plays, and it makes it hard for you to score goals when your playmakers are getting rocked down the ice, so I will not be surprised if you see more of that as this game kind of progresses.
Feather one through all the way to Carlson at center, but he spins back and again looks to regroup with his team. Keegan Lucas had a goal last night's game, and he will pass it off. Freshman to senior. Hembry backhands this one in a dump-in play. Carlson looks like he will win the race on for it, but can't get it away from Caden Cloutier, who had also had a Gino in last night's contest. Back to Lucas, and a fired shot off a body in front and up into the mesh. 4:25 gone by in the first. Nothing.
You were mentioning Keegan Lucas playing catch with Sam Hembry on defense before they broke into the zone. And you mentioned the freshman to senior action there. I was interviewing Sam Hembry before this game, and I was asking about that young core that Washington State has. And when you talk to each of the seniors, some of the upperclassmen on this team, they are all very excited about the freshman core that the Cougs have. They have a lot of young talent who are going to be around for a while. So the future of Washington State hockey is very bright.
Very bright indeed, and good recruiting, and you could find yourself just like Western with a big turnaround, nearly beating the defending champions so close, just 20 minutes away, could not get it done. But now it is Ballard. Banks went ahead for Wyatt Perry. Perry trying to just hold that one in possession, but couldn't get it away from Nelson, and Powers retrieves it in behind the cage and spins it back to the opposite corner. Carried out by Oatman. Left it ahead for Gillick. The Zags look to start a rush the other way. Gillick just kind of throws that in from the blue line, goes right to the stick of Keenan. Near wall for Perry. Nelson keeping it alive and trying to keep the pressure on for the team in gray. The Cougars have not quite had the most luck in their black jerseys, although best looking, in my opinion. They've had one win against Idaho, but in the regular season, winless in these sweaters.
And they debuted him against Western in that outdoor game in Winthrop. Of course, the Cougs lost that game. It was a very fun game, but, and then they also rolled them against UW when they were playing in Tri-Cities, and that was a pair of losses for them. So like you mentioned, could not pick up a win with them in the regular season, but maybe they might be their spring season jerseys. You never know.
Could be on occasion, and no bigger occasion right now than senior night here in Washington State in a final game for a few of their players. And Reed Mullen looks to kind of shovel this one further into the neutral zone. Can't. Chen Yu Sun drags that one back into Cougar territory. Settled down by Keenan. Fighting with Kochton there for the puck. A couple men joining him before, again, it's chipped out to the neutral zone. And it seems like neither team can get true possession in the offensive zone, or at least get any real chances on net so far.
And there haven't been very many stoppages of play so far in this first period. About 13 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first frame. Still scoreless, 0-0. And like you said, Zach, neither team really getting very many offensive opportunities. They've kind of been getting shut down by each other's defenses. So a very defensive-heavy matchup thus far.
And last night's contest, only 2 goals, one apiece in the first period, but there were a lot of chances, and the Cougars, especially at the beginning of that second period, had many and found themselves in a 2-goal hole twice. But we'll see what happens here. Lazar walks in and fires one, and that rip shot is gloved by Cloutier. And we do not see Charlie Hinch, not even on the bench this evening. He was the goaltender for Gonzaga last night, and he definitely made some pretty good saves against this Wazoo Cougar offense.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch if you're a Gonzaga fan. There were some great saves, some good shots. This Wazoo offense can be high-powered at times. You just saw there Max Lazaro just fired an absolute bullet right into his glove, and Hinch was kind of having to stand on his head a little bit. I say that even though he gave up 7 goals. But still, I mean, let's see if Cloutier can't follow up that performance.
And Robinson rips one home. May have been deflected in front, but the first goal of the game comes from him, and it looks like it'll be credited to 9 in black. 1-0 Washington State.
That is great for Lucas Robinson, the junior from Linwood. His first goal on the regular season, he had 9 assists to match his jersey number, did not have a single Gino, so that's his first goal of the year. You got to feel happy for him to get that goal as an upperclassman on senior night.
And that is huge, and he wants nothing more than to win this game for those seniors in their last ride. Back it comes to Mullen, just can't keep it onside, and he will just fire it back in opposite side, dump in here. Powers tried to thread that one through all the way to Oatman, off a couple of skates, and retrieved by Bushkin. Possibly the future of this Cougar team, the best rookie by far points-wise on this team without a doubt. He has been hard to handle for every team he has gone against. And going back to that UW series in October of 2025, he was the lone goal for the Cougars in that series. And again, more tighter one. This one thrown out in front, and again, pushed just wide by King. Threw one back out front. Pushkin save. Rebound, scramble there. The puck is loose in the paint, and it is covered, but the activity has not stopped. We've got a wrestling match here.
And these teams are not rivals by any means. There's not that much bad blood between these two programs. But again, you don't get too close to the goaltender. That's what happens. You kind of will get into a tussle like that. But you were mentioning David Bushkin, the fact that he was the best rookie in the regular season for Washington State. 19 goals, 6 assists. That is absolutely insane from a rookie. Probably one of the best rookies in the entire Pac-8 conference as well. And you saw it right there, Wyatt, in that sequence of events. Broke it in himself. Set up his teammates. Will also got an opportunity to score out in front as well. He makes things happen. Whether or not that's getting assists, whether or not that's scoring goals, he just makes things happen, and that's why he's the best rookie on this team.
Luke Jurgensen failed to turn that one, but Carlson will relay it, and Carlson with a backhander off the side of the cage. That would have been quite a beautiful goal if he got one, but he can't. Rayner finding Carlson at the top of the slot, backhands one back to the point again. Back to the point, Hembry with a wrister, deflected right off target. In the rebound, went and bounced in behind the cage. Up the near wall, Carlson trying to dance away from trouble. Leaves it off for Hembry and a nice pass over. Lucas with a wrister. Save made. Rebound. Puck is loose. Scramble in front. And again bodies down. But the play has been whistled dead with 11:48 to go. It is still 1-0 Crimson and Gray.
And things have really started to slide back towards Washington State in their favor. They broke the ice with Lucas Robinson getting the first goal of the night. And Logan Cloutier in net for the Gonzaga Bulldogs has been tested a little bit. And he's someone, if you're Wazoo, if you can test him a little bit, you can beat him. He only has a .770 save percentage, and he averages 8 goals against on average.
He struggled in that series, again, way back in 2025, one of the early series for the Cougs. And this one thrown by Lucas off a shin pad in front. You could hear it from up here. Sohovanen in the corner. Gets a give and go out in front. And a backhander denied again by Cloutier. And he is looking good short range, keeping everything out of the cage. And 11:28 to go. Still a 1-0 contest.
You know, Smiley Sohovanen wanting to net that one would have been his 10th goal of the year. He had 9 goals and 10 assists in the regular season. And again, I was interviewing him before this game as well, and I was off air talking with him about, I really hope you get a goal so I can be able to have a goal call for you. And he said, I'll try my best. So hopefully he is trying his best down there on the ice.
Well, Connor and I definitely spoke a few things into fruition last night. Here's a shot by Ballard. Rebound in front, and that one is chipped wide off the stick there. My goodness. Fired one back to the point. Maurer lets one go. Deflected right on target. Save made. Rebound. Another scramble. And still again covered by Cloutier. I'm getting deja vu up here.
It seems the Cougs strategy has been to just get the puck to the outside, get it to the blue line, to the wings, fire from well out, and look for those tips. You saw Cole Carlson with a couple good tipper opportunities, and right now that could potentially work. That's how Lucas Robinson scored, was able to fire through a bevy of humanity to get that past Cloutier. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Cloutier has been decent so far, only allowed 1 thus far.
Well, if there is a senior to score tonight, do you have a prediction on who it is?
I would have to say Samuli Sohovanen. He's the one I really think could possibly get it. But then again, you got Luke Jurgensen, who's on that top line. He's been phenomenal with the Cougs this year.
Had a hat trick earlier in the year, and he has been a great physical presence and addition to this Cougar team. As here is a leave. Lucas Clark carrying that back in for the Cougars. Looked to throw one in front, and it just kind of fanned off his stick. And it will go to the opposite wall. That's the near wall now. Trying to spin away from trouble was Ballard and couldn't do it. Kept alive, though, by Holtman. Sent back down low, and the rolling puck played by Powers as he looks away for options. Soccered back and forth and finally slapped back below the goal line again by Holtman before he goes for a change. And Wyatt Perry now coming to get some physical action in behind the net, but the puck again goes by him. Oatman being pressured one more time. Cougars forecheck relentless, but they will escape out. Powers dropping it off Gillick. 3-on-2. Gillick, a shot didn't go off the backboard and in behind the cage. Eastman has no idea where it is. Still at the side of the net, comes out front near the paint, and it's poked away, and maybe an opportunity if he can hurry, but Nelson beats Bushkin to it and keeps it alive. Taylor receives it at the Gonzaga blue line, throws one to the front, but blocked by the shin guards of Powers. Loose puck again, taken by him. Tried to be thrown to the front and again blocked. Oatman at the near wall will just fire this one all the way down. It's going to get on target, so there will be no icing. It's in the paths of Eastman, and he will just cover it with the glove at over halfway done with this first period. And still, again, 1-0 Cougars off the Lucas Robinson shot from the point.
I like that decision there from Eastman to melt down that puck, get the blocker over the top of it, and just slow things down. It really seemed like Gonzaga was starting to get some momentum back in their favor. They're down by 1 goal, but they're starting to push, and they could potentially tie it up right here.
And look out, again, like you mentioned, they could. The top line out there, they were giving the Cougars some trouble, to say the least, last night. But this might be an opportunity. Couldn't quite chip it all the way to Bushkin, who had a break. Meanwhile, King takes the loose puck on the right wing, dances by one, and then it's knifed away by the netminder, the last line of defense. Claudier sent that one to the corner, where it's fought for again here. Taylor with a wraparound try, and that one is denied one more time. Claudier shutting down everything in close.
Smart play there from Matthew Taylor, trying the wraparound opportunity, and he is someone that the Cougs are definitely glad to have back in the lineup for the spring season. His academics took a bit of a hit during the regular season, had to step away from the team, but now he's back for spring because eligibility doesn't matter quite as much. But last year, in the regular season, he had 2 goals, 2 assists, but he also racked up 32 penalty minutes as well, so he was watching from behind the glass for a long time.
You know, he was eager to get out on the ice again, as Bowers can't control that one, but Rayner will. And he'll go across ice, bank pass to Jurgensen. Jurgensen trying to get away from Bank, could not. Chen Yu's son now. Bowers with a soccer play to Kochton. And a good back check by Cole Carlson, able to take that one away. Can't find the puck, it's loose. They physically battle for it. Rayner can't dump it in. And now a near side scramble for it. They're a 5-man scrum, but it finds its way to the stick of Hembry, who sends this one in off the back wall. Bowers trying to get away from trouble. Jurgensen in close, and now Lucas with a shot off of Claudier and almost directed on net from that shot that went well wide. And now a stoppage of play. It looks like the puck wound up on the back of the net, and with 8:25 to go, still 1-0.
Now, Zach, if that puck had hit off of Claudier and went into the net, I'm certain Keegan Lucas would say what I say all the time when I play pool, just as I drew it up. That's exactly what I wanted to do, is hit it off a guy and into the net. Trick shot of sorts. Definitely not what he was trying to do, but if it worked out, if it works, it works.
I'm sure Johnny Lupinacci had practiced that a few times in practice, had them running that play. Just like Coach drew it up. Carlson in the slot, and a shot that just rises above the crossbar. Hembry just kind of threw one back toward the slot, and nothing there. Now it is Lucas spinning away from trouble. Jabbed off by Nelson. A good defensive play by him. And then this one again. Thrown back toward the goal line. Spun it in front. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? Jurgensen to Carlson, and it's 2-0. What a beauty.
Holy smokes. Spinning no-look pass to the captain from Calgary, and it's just too easy at that point. You cannot leave the top 2 players on the Cougs open because they make stuff happen, and that's what they did right there. 2-0 Washington State leading, Jurgensen to Carlson. So the senior didn't get the goal, but he's got the assist.
And a beautiful one at that. Nothing but net to shoot at for Cole Carlson from pretty much the top of the blue paint. Only guy that can miss a net like that, Nathan McKinnon. Here's Sahovinen walking in, and his shot fought off by Claudier, just that close to his senior night goal. Now he sends one in front. Lucas, a shot bounced in directly off a skate and wide. Comes back to the point. Hembry settles it down, fires one immediately there, but it comes all the way to Lucas at the far wall. Ballard sent one in front, blocked away and tipped by a couple of skates and sticks. Cleared all the way back down. The bouncing puck going to hit off of Eastman again, and he will just cover this one more time with 7:25 to go and a 2-0 game in favor of the Cougs.
And so hoping to get my heart going there with that shot. That could have been a good wrist shot. They could have snuck it past Claudier, but that's where you just scored a goal. You just had Carlson get on the board, and you don't take your foot off the gas. The Cougs get off the faceoff, break into the zone, fire a shot on net, and just keep peppering Claudier.
And back the other way, in comes the Cougars here, and that is Lazaro just kind of backhanding one through. He's got a man in front. He will try and blindly spin one, but couldn't get that one to go away. Here comes that top line for Gonzaga in a 3-on-2. Bowers looking to dance around Maurer, but he had it poked away. Blindly threw one out front. Sahovinen calms it down here, and will just chip this one ahead. Almost played by a high stick by Smith, but he was unable to get contact with it. Brandon Smith now being shoved into the board by Nelson. Gonzaga will look to break it back out one more time. It is Powers, the defenseman. Backhand chips one through the neutral zone yet again. Ballard regains control of the puck and walks right in. Ballard, a shot deflected and had to be jabbed away by Claudier. Kind of a weird shot there, and a huge change of direction late. Powers in the opposite corner looks to fight with Bushkin for it. Bushkin outpositions him and now has King for help. Puck sent out to the corner again. Taylor threw one to the front, and that one off the cage and in behind now again. Bushkin fighting with Nelson for it at the near wall. Makes its way back to the point. Ballard, a shot, save made, and the rebound is covered as that one hit chest, then ice, and with the glove over the top, 6:10 to go in the second, a stoppage of play.
And that right there is why Lex Ballard was so fun to watch in the regular season. 4 goals, 9 assists, an offensive defenseman from the blue line. He's not afraid to just snipe those ones. He had a beautiful Gino last night as well, showing that he can get things done on offense. And that's something you love to have at the ACHA level, a defenseman who can score.
No doubt about that. Gonzaga, again, top line out. They played so many minutes yesterday. You almost wonder, since the Cougs really never had a lead most of the night until the third period, if it was just about outlasting and having more gas in the tank. Gonzaga has such a short bench that could be a huge factor. This line only has so much gas. You can only ask them for so much. Chen Yu-sun backhands one further into the opposite corner. Bowers looks to retrieve as he looks around, making sure he's not going to be in any trouble, but Reed Mullen makes him turn it over, and now he's battling Kochton with it. Reed Mullen 6'3", and using that frame to at least get it out before he stumbles down to the ice. And Kochton leaves it off for Bang, who just fires this one in, but kind of fanned on it, didn't get enough. And Robinson settles it down. Trying to spin it away was Perry, but it will actually miss his stick and go all the way down for an icing with 5:15 to go in the first.
And you mentioned it there, Zach, the short bench for Gonzaga. You look over at the Washington State bench, they have 14 guys on the bench with their other 5 out on the ice. You look over at Gonzaga, and how many do they have there on the bench? 6. They have 6 members on their bench to Wazoo's 14. That shows you the lack of depth that Gonzaga has in this matchup.
And believe it or not, they had more last night on the bench. They had a little bit, I guess, substitution to work with, but now it is pretty much 2 lines. 2 full lines you're going to get with an extra, and that's just got to be harsh. I mean, USC obviously did that with the Cougs earlier in the year and got the win, but then the second game was more of like a, hey, this is probably what really would have happened if the Cougars played to their full potential, which they have trouble doing consistently. But nonetheless, Kochton trying to work it in, but this one will be kind of fumbled over the blue line and eventually be called offside with just under 5 minutes to go. 2-0 Washington State.
A good start early on for Washington State, 2 goals. The first one was Lucas Robinson, and then a little bit earlier was Cole Carlson. So the Cougs up 2-0 right now, but you got to keep your foot on the gas. 5 minutes left in the period, and like I mentioned, you got to get out to a good start and earn the ability to have fun.
And also, like you mentioned, Gonzaga does not give up. They absolutely do not. You can't get any kind of lead on this team and think they're going to, because they'll just keep coming at you. Able to escape on by senior Jurgensen. Walks in, threw one in front from the blue line save, maybe looking for a tip, but it ends up being covered by Cloutier with 4:37 to go, and he stops a long-range shot from Jurgensen.
And Jurgensen's been really impressive with the Cougs thus far. Coming into this team, he transferred in from MSU. He's got 3 goals and 7 assists in only 16 games played, so he hasn't played that much with Wazoo, but in that short time, he's been an impact player on that top line.
McLaren Young chips this back in, and it's banked back ahead to the opposite blue line. And Nelson will try and escape it through the red line. Keenan comes up with it. Horizontally skates this one and leaves it off for Hembry. This one is bumped back in by Carlson, who kind of took a right hand there, fed it across. Jurgensen, save, rebound, puck scrambled through the crease, and then thrown back in front and wide. Jurgensen at the near wall, sends it back to the corner. Powers will come out with it, but it's soccered away from trouble. Back to Hembry, who kept it alive. No, the linesman says otherwise, and with 4:02 to go, the faceoff comes out of the zone, and a stoppage of play.
A little hard to see from up here. We kind of got the railing and the cameraman and Connor in our way as well, so we can't quite see there, but he might have drug it past the blue line on that wrist shot attempt, and so good eyes from the line judge to be able to see, hey, that was brought into the neutral zone, but he kicks it out. So now Washington State, 4 minutes left. You still have plenty of time to get some more insurance to build on that 2-0 lead.
Lazaro will escape around Cloutier. He's got a man trailing. Lazaro banging off the pipe. Back it is Smith, corralling it, spinning away from Kochton. Backhanded one through the rafters, untouched, off a couple of gloves, bouncing in the air, but they will say it's a hand pass and blow it dead as well. The rafters, of course, in this building, like we've mentioned probably many times before, extremely low, probably not even 20 feet off the ice.
No, I feel like if you're down on the ice, you could jump up and hang off of those rafters up here, those metal beams. So there are so many times where the Cougs will try and clear a puck down ice and it hits off those, and they have to blow the play dead.
A shot by Maurer, blocked again by Zag, and worked ahead by Bowers. Banked one further for Kochton, but he is stood up there by Maurer, the freshman defenseman who continues to get more playing time and showcase his skills in this starting lineup for the Cougs. Talk about a freshman defenseman, Lucas. Here he comes, right wing shot and a save made off the glove, pushed it back toward the front, and it cannot be kept alive. And now Eastman coming out, chasing away Sun, and he will push that one back into center. And then this one comes out of play. 3:06 to go, still 2-0 Cougars.
That's a super smart play there from Cole Eastman. When you have Chen Yu Sun coming down the barrel of a gun at you, you got to do something to slow him down. Chen Yu Sun led the Bulldogs 12 goals, 9 assists, so he was their goal leader, assist leader, and points leader in the regular season.
Here comes Kochton, tried to skate right, shoot left, and then the rebound, a loose puck taken by Sun, and his shot just whistled a little bit wide. Backhanded bouncing puck comes out. Ballard, nice move, and he puts bang in a blender, and a shot on goal is held. And snowing the goaltender there a bit was Taylor to make the stoppage of play with 2:50 to go.
I'll tell you, Zach, if you were to ask me to define a hockey player, I would probably just paint the picture that is Lex Ballard. Incredibly tall, incredibly fast. He's got dangles. He's got a wrist shot. He is just a complete player in basically every aspect of the game, and he's a defenseman. He is in so much fun to watch in the Crimson and Gray or Crimson and Black tonight, wearing their blackout jerseys, their Winter Classic jerseys. So Lex Ballard, I mentioned it before that in the regular season, he had 4 goals and 9 assists. He is incredibly fun to watch. That long reach he's got allows him to poke check pucks away. On defense, he's great, shuts down opportunities, and on offense, he's not afraid to pinch in and just get something going. So if he can continue to do that, then you might see the freshman getting a goal on senior night.
They're mentioning the future on forwards, that is Bushkin, Keegan Lucas, and Lex Ballard. Absolutely the future on the back end. The two freshmen combining for many points this year. They've been fantastic. Ballard a shot from the point that had to be punched away by Cloutier, and the rebound comes out in front again. Bauer's able to feather that one through to Kochton and clear it, and now here he comes. He's got speed, trying to get around Ballard with it. Good positioning by Ballard, keeping him to the outside. Coach Lupinacci mentioned he wanted to keep this top line more to the outside last night. Here's a shot from the point, save. Rebound tapped home. Chen Yu Sun cuts the lead in half. It is 2-1.
Not the prettiest tuck in the world, but Chen Yu Sun, he'll take it. And that's why he probably leads them for goals. That was his 13th of the year. He just wait for opportunities like that. Camping on the near side, the near post, waiting for some kind of rebound, something to trickle past Eastman, and it's an easy just pull shot, tap it right in, then you cut the lead to only 2-1. Washington State's still leading, but this is what I was saying. Gonzaga does not give up even if you continue to put pressure on them.
Do not let them back in. Don't let them linger around. In this first period, the Cougars have had a couple goals, of course, and probably a lot more scoring chances than Gonzaga has had, but you just can't let them hang around. They will get back into the game, and they have with a goal from Chen Yu Sun on the doorstep. Nelson backhands one out. Gillick chips it further into the Cougar zone. Mullen calms it down and backhand shoves that one into the neutral zone again, and this one worked ahead one more time by Rayner. Lost the puck, though, at the blue line, settled down by Keenan, who fired that one right back in. 1:40 to go in the first period. 2-1 Cougars. This one intercepted by Carlson. Holding it on his backhand, threw one in front. Nobody there, just wide of the stick of Rayner. Carlson again, back checking, just holding the line one more time. Carlson spinning it back, looking at his options. Top of the slot, works it further, and a shot that's blocked down in front to the corner. Racing for Gillick. Stick checking that, and now taken again by Nelson. Banks it off the boards. Keenan trying to somehow keep it alive and cannot. Eaton able to help clear it. Mullen settles it down. 63 seconds left on the clock in the first period. Rayner carries it in, leaves it off. Carlson tried to shoot it through traffic, and that one rose way up and over the glass and out of play with under a minute to go in a 2-1 contest led by Washington State.
It's good to see Washington State continuing to keep the pressure on. You see them now swinging it back in their momentum, tilting the ice towards Cloutier and not letting Gonzaga back into this game. We mentioned it before. You can't let Gonzaga back into this game. It's a lot like the movie Sinners. The vampires in those movies, they can only come in if you invite them in. So if you're Washington State, you cannot invite the vampires into the building because they will not leave.
Keep the pedal down, and this one tipped by Hembry, and a shot there that comes right at the high glass and behind the cage. Bouncing puck down low, fielded by Bang, and he'll just send that one to the near wall further. captain for Gonzaga. Kept alive by Lazaro. Onside play, dances through one in front, down low to Sahovinen, and the shot didn't really get all of it. Looked like they were really trying to set Sahovinen up there for a goal. Smith plays it back down low. Sahovinen waits on it. Shoves it over for Lazaro. Out in front and a backhander, didn't go. Loose puck is chipped back out. 17 seconds to go. Caden Cloutier dumps this one in. It's on target. Hits off the side of the cage, and Bowers is going to get there first. 10 seconds to go. First period coming to an end. Sahovinen just rips that one the rest of the way down. It will not be an icing, and that will do it for period number 1. Washington State heads off. Gonzaga heads off. And the Cougars up 2-1 after the first 20 minutes. And what have the Cougars done better than they did last night, at least for this Gonzaga team, and kind of holding that top line a little bit more?
Well, Zach, it all comes down to just continued pressure, keeping it in the O-zone, getting those opportunities. And you mentioned it there, they were trying to really get Sahovinen the puck, and that's probably something you're going to see throughout this game is when the seniors are on the ice, they have an opportunity. It's almost like when someone has 2 goals in the night, right? You want to give them that puck for that hat trick. It's the same thing, the same concept. The seniors, they want to give them a goal on their senior night, so you're going to see the Cougs maybe taking a little bit longer to shoot the puck, make that extra pass. To quote Ted Lasso, make the extra pass, get it to the next guy, and that next guy is probably going to be a senior. It's probably going to be the Luke Jurgensons of the world, the Samuel Sahovinens of the world, the Colin Keenans, the Sam Hembrys, trying to get them an opportunity to get something past the red line, get a goal on senior night. So that's something you're going to see for Washington State. It's not always recipe for success. Like you saw there, Sahovinen wasn't able to get it past because probably someone before him should have shot the puck and they would have scored, but they're trying to get to Sahovinen. And you're not necessarily in a spot where you can afford to do that. You're only up by 1. It's 2-1. And like we mentioned, Gonzaga is a team that does not give up at any point in the game. So you haven't quite earned the fun yet. You haven't quite earned the right to have some fun. You have to get to a bigger lead, put some more goals up in the second. So the second period is going to be very telling for how the rest of the matchup's going to go. Are they going to earn the right to have fun, or is Gonzaga going to keep them on edge for that last 20 minutes of play?
And like you mentioned, just kind of really trying to get it to your seniors and really prioritizing that. We kind of saw that last spring in the NHL with they chased to 895 with Alex Ovechkin. They oftentimes threw him the puck any chance they could, trying to get him that goal record. And I think tonight we can see that with the seniors. Coach Lupinacci mentioned last night kind of keeping this top line to the outsides, and Lex Bauer did a heck of a job here keeping Kochton to the outside, forcing him to go in and around the cage. And do you think the Cougars are doing a good enough job with what Coach Lupinacci said last night, trying to shut down this top line for Gonzaga?
I mean, you think about the fact that Chenyu Sanzori got a goal so far in this game, so clearly you're not doing enough. You're doing a fairly good job. Like you mentioned, keeping them to the outside. You had Lex Bauer doing a good job of shouldering guys away, keeping them from being able to power move in to kind of test Cole Eastman. And Cole Eastman, he's a phenomenal goaltender. Last year he had a .917 save percentage and only allowed 4.32 goals against on average. And I know you're thinking, 4.32 goals against on average, that's not that great. In the ACHA, that's pretty exceptional. Like Coach Lupinacci says it a lot. You need 5 goals to win the ACHA because teams tend to score 5 goals in a game. That's something you don't see a lot in the NHL. You see it a lot in the ACHA. So Cole Eastman is a great goaltender for Washington State, but he needs the support from his 5 counterparts on the ice. He needs them to keep pushing Gonzaga out to the outside, just keeping them away from being able to power move in. Because what happens is you saw right there, they were able to get a shot. Chen Yu-Sung was unguarded, waiting for that puck, and just taps it in. So you've got to stick to that plan. Keep them to the outside, because if you even blink for a second, Chen Yu-Sung gets his first goal of the game.
No doubt about it. And then when you look at the Cougars, you just need your depth scoring. You need that, especially when the top line for Gonzaga is off the ice. You just love to see them take a little bit more advantage of that and get the offense going there. But with that, it is 2-1 Cougars heading into the second period. I'm Zach McFarlane, joined by Smith Slye with Connor Simmons behind the camera, and you're watching KUGR Hockey. Do not go away. It's a 1-goal contest heading to period 2. Martzoff fired it in off the skate there of Robinson, who angles it off the glass and out. And now an opportunity for the man, the myth. Cole calls it all alone. Score! A shorthanded goal. He is now pointed 3 of 3. Amazing forecheck, but now Matthew Taylor sends it. Carlson lets the howitzer go. He scores!
Beautiful
what a snipe.
shot. Beautiful.
What a snipe. Cole Carlson on the power play, and the Cougars have cut the lead in half.
As he's got two Cougs pinning him against the boards. And here comes a feed pass for Cole Carlson with a head of steam. Can he get a shorty? Backhand, dangles, shot, he scores! A shorthanded goal. Cole Carlson, the team captain, puts the team on his back and cuts the lead to only one.
We'll try our best as here's an opportunity. David Bushkin getting around. Moving on in and a shot. He scores! David Bushkin!
He's got David Bushkin, the freshman. He stops in the sharks, puts the shot and goal. He scores! David Bushkin, the freshman. 8 goals so far this year. It just continues.
Gets it back. The Eagles under major pressure. Bushkin toward the net. He sails it! Washington State takes a 5-3 lead with 13 seconds to go and a dagger.
And here the Cougs come once again. Van Rainer pushing it up. The tall forward shoots, scores! What a wrist shot right there from Van Rainer as he gets a hattie. My, oh my, what a shot right there. It's a 5-0 hockey game as Van Rainer doing a good job fighting, able to stick it clear and keep the possession for the Cougs. Here comes Van Rainer again, makes a move. Rainer drives it towards the net. Agafladier, top right, bang! My, oh my, Van Rainer has 5. As they're breaking in once again, that's Nico. He might be looking for the hat. He tries to send it out in front of Kings Kelly, nothing found, but Van by himself, and he scores! What is happening? Lazaro looking to get something going. Makes number 20 of the Vandals miss. Sends it out front to Van Rainer. One-timer, Lazaro shoots it, scores! My, oh my!
Out of the hands there of Ryder. Carlson was crushed by Ryder. Lazaro, score! What a snipe! That goes top glove. There was a penalty called on the play. And that one straight away ahead for Carlson. Carlson dropping it off Lazaro. A little crisscross. Lazaro, a shot. He scores! Max Lazaro, top shelf yet again. Martzoff fired it in off the skate there of Robinson, who angles it off the glass and out. And now an opportunity for the man, the myth. Cole Carlson all alone. Score! A shorthanded goal. He is now pointed 3 of 3. Amazing forecheck, but now Matthew Taylor sends it. Carlson lets the howitzer go. He scores!
Beautiful
What a snipe.
shot. Beautiful.
What a snipe. Cole Carlson on the power play, and the Cougars have cut the lead in half.
As he's got two Cougs pinning him against the boards. And here comes a feed pass for Cole Carlson with a head of steam. Can he get a shorty? Backhand, dangles, shot, he scores! A shorthanded goal. Cole Carlson, the team captain, puts the team on his back and cuts the lead to only one.
We will try our best as here's an opportunity. David Bushkin getting around. Moving on in and a shot. He scores! David Bushkin!
He's got David Bushkin, the freshman. He stops and sharks. Puts a shot on goal. He scores! David Bushkin, the freshman. 8 goals so far this year. It just continues.
Gets it back. The Eagles under major pressure. Bushkin toward the net. He sails it! Washington State takes a 5-3 lead with 13 seconds to go and a dagger.
And here the Cougs come once again. Van Rainer pushing it up. The tall forward shoots, scores! What a wrist shot right there from Van Rainer as he gets a hattie. My, oh my, what a shot right there. It's a 5-0 hockey game as Van Rainer doing a good job fighting, able to stick it clear and keep the possession for the Cougs. Here comes Van Rainer again, makes a move. Rainer drives it towards the net. Agafladier, top right, bang! My, oh my, Van Rainer has 5. As they're breaking in once again.
Listening to a KUGR sports production.
Another rushing touchdown for what might be the best rushing quarterback in all of college football right now.
Your eyes and ears for every WSU sporting event.
What a play! What a kill by Brewstad!
Listen live to games on YouTube at KUGR Sports.
Underneath it, Johnstone makes the grab and wins the game. Washington State wins it 7-5. Logan Johnstone makes the snag.
And now, here are your hosts.
You're listening to Cougar Hockey on KUGR.
They may be juniors, but they're getting it done on senior night. Lucas Robinson kicked it off in the first period with the goal, and then it was Cole Carlson off an assist from Luke Jurgensen, making it 2-1 in favor of Washington State on senior night on the Palouse in Moscow, Idaho. But there's still 40 minutes left to play. We're moving into period number 2, the period of long changes, and it's still anyone's game. Cougs versus Zags here on the ice. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Smith Slye alongside Zach McFarlane in the broadcast booth on KUGR, Cougar College Radio, the home of Cougar hockey and all Cougar athletics as well. And so, Zach, as we're moving into period number 2, Cougs up by 1 goal. What do the Cougs need to do to be able to keep their foot on the gas for the rest of the game?
Yeah, and it's like you mentioned before, where they're hemming Gonzaga into the zone pretty good. They just need to keep that up. The forecheck has been strong, and they just need to keep doing that. Keep your foot on the gas when it just comes to keeping the puck in the zone. That is so important because once Gonzaga's top line get that space, they get out to the neutral zone, they can create something. An odd man rush 3-on-2. That's when it gets a little bit scary. They were really good on the rush, and then once they get into the zone, they can forecheck and they can do it right back. And as we saw that Chen Yu-sun goal, lots of forecheck and keeping the puck in the zone, and finally a shot from the point gets directed. Chen Yu-sun right there to pick up the trash. A little bit Van Rainer-esque, if you will, but I guess to be blunt with it, just the Cougars have to just keep on the gas. The forecheck has to be there for the Cougs. Literally nothing else. They just can't let Gonzaga hang around because clearly in the first period they did, and now it's only a 1-goal game.
I mentioned Chen Yu-sun getting the lone goal thus far for Gonzaga. He's a member of that top line, and outside that top line, I couldn't really tell you anybody else who's really standing out on the Zags, and that's because they have a incredibly short bench. I pointed out the discrepancy when all 5 Cougars were out on the ice and all 5 Zags were out on the ice. You had 14 members of Washington State on the bench, along with Coach Lupinacci, and you had 6 for Gonzaga. I'll say that again, 14 Cougs, 6 Zags on the bench. That right there is a just stark contrast of the lack of depth that Gonzaga has and the immense amount of depth that Wazoo has. Going into this year, we knew that there was going to be the development team, and then there was going to be the actual Division II, the actual travel team, the club team, and that's showing you just how many people the Cougs have to call on. And there were times during the year where Washington State said, hey, this was a bad game or a bad series or XYZ, we're going to start to call on some people from that Dev League up, and we're going to start to have them get some more reps. Why? Because we have people to be able to lean on. When you have someone nipping at your heels, it makes you all that much better, and that's something that the Cougs have really thrived with, is having that depth and having people to be able to lean on in these games. But Gonzaga, they might not have the depth, but they're still sticking with the Cougs through the first 20 minutes. Still 2-1, Washington State leading by a thin margin. So how can the Cougs maybe exploit that lack of depth?
Yeah, I think it's all just about, again, pressure, forechecking. Make them tired so that they can't make it to the third period. They run out of gas by then, so that way in the third period, you can just put on offense, put on goals on the board, and just extend that lead even further. Because if you allow them to control the pace of the game, that's when it can get out of hand and not in your favor. Gonzaga could easily get their top line and put up 4 or 5 goals like they did last night. Bowers with a hat trick, Kochton with a goal, and then you had Caden Cloutier on the board as well to make up 5. Yes, it takes 5 to win in this league, as Johnny Lubinacci says, but you still got to get more than your opponent. Luckily, the Cougars outlasted them last night, but this has to be the period where the Cougars just lock in and they put all the pressure on, maybe even a 4 or 5 goal difference by the end of this period. That could really do it for them. You just can't let Gonzaga hang around. But one thing I want to point out, as much as the Cougs rely on their young talent as well, which is a good thing to see, you just got to love Luke Jurgensen in front of the net. He could shoot it. He could shoot that puck. He's got a good shot, but he instead leaves it off a no-look pass to Cole Carlson to make that a 2-0 game, and a beauty of a pass. And it's just good to see the selflessness going on, even from a guy who is a senior playing in his last game. Obviously, you want to get the goal, but you know what? A good pass right there leads to a goal. I think that's huge and important. Selfless hockey, that's what the Cougars need.
I was about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth, Zach. Selfless hockey is how you're going to win games. Like you mentioned, Jurgensen, a senior, being honored today on Senior Day. This is his last game of college hockey. He's getting his degree in mechanical engineering with a sports focus. He works in the sports science lab for Washington State, developing baseball bats. I was talking with him before the game, and I was riveted by that. I'm a big baseball fan, so I want to know how to get on that career path. As the puck drops for period number 2, the period of long changes, and right off the draw, Mason Kochton for Gonzaga moves out to the far wing, fires a shot, and it's gloved down by Cole Eastman, who gets another save in this matchup.
Well, despite only 6 seconds going by, there is some similarities to point out. Low-scoring first period and a clean penalty shoot. We saw that last night. Didn't see too many penalties, and again, a clean one through the first period.
Off the draw, Gonzaga fires it on net again, but Powers has to backhand it in further. Tied up on the near wing, it's Sam Hembry, the senior defenseman, being honored today for senior night. A feed pass for Cole Carlson. Here he comes, one-on-one with Powers on the far wing. Poke checked away. Powers able to shut off Cole Carlson, who has a goal so far tonight. And now in the neutral zone, it's Kochton moving in, trying to put on a move. Fires a shot off the blockers of Cole Eastman, rattles around, and now it's Cole Carlson trying to move it out. He can't. It's sealed in by number 71, Chen Yu-sun for Gonzaga. He's got the lone goal for the Zags. In the near wing, it spits through the neutral zone, down ice. Carlson trying to track it down, trying to skate it through the skates of Nelson. Doesn't work, and the Cougs are chased back into their own end. Sam Hembry fired it back onto the stick of Colin Keenan, one of the other seniors being honored tonight. And he turns it over to Kochton, fires a shot off the pads of Cole Eastman. He somehow makes a save. He's out of the crease. He's going to have to get back into the blue paint. Lost his stick, so Eastman stickless on the Palouse. As now Kochton tries to fire it in further. Jurgensen jousting with them. Van Rainer will backhand it now onto the blade of Cole Carlson. He's got it. Fired onto the stick of Jurgensen. Fires a shot. He scores! Carlson to Jurgensen, and he buries it. 3-1, Washington State leading here early in the second.
And who else but one of the seniors to score on senior night, and a delayed goal horn here played for Jurgensen. A beautiful pass by Carlson, leads it just enough by the stick of a Gonzaga Bulldog and right onto the tape of Jurgensen. Just a great play, a good pass from Jurgensen to Carlson, and now the other way around, and a good extension of the lead 3-1.
Selfless hockey pays off in the ACHA. Jurgensen had the assist on the second goal of the game, and now he's rewarded with that feed to get the third goal for Washington State, as that puck was fired all the way from the neutral zone into the glove of Cloutier. He gloves it, squeezes it. We'll have a face-off in the Gonzaga end with 18.5 left in period number 2, the period of long changes.
And a good recovery from Carlson, because it looked like that original rush into the zone, that toe drag, it just bounced off his stick a little bit, I beg your pardon.
Off the faceoff, Lex Ballard fired a slap shot that sailed over the head of Cloutier, and now cleaned up to the slot. Brandon Smith tries to slap it home, can't get past the pads of Cloutier. It's Ballard at the blue line. Thinks through his options, hands it off to Sam Sahovinen on the far wing, ends up backhanding it to Ballard on the wing, fires it through Bice, tips around, almost looked like it hit off the post, and Sahovinen's going to have to joust with a pair of Bulldogs in the corner. Lazaro connects with Ballard at the blue line, fires it over for Ethan Maurer. He's got to try and dance past 2 Bulldogs, and now Ballard through Bice, tips around, no one can see it, and Lazaro to clean it up on the far corner. Now for Brandon Smith on the near corner. Plays it through to Ethan Maurer at the blue line, trying to shake off number 22, that's McLaren Young. As Maurer lost the puck, and the Cougs are chased back into their own end. They'll have to hit the refresh button.
Good harsh forecheck by Young. Oatman was without a stick there, practically a 5-on-4 in the zone, and she's able to pressure just enough to get that puck across the line and refresh the bench.
17 minutes and 30 seconds left in period number 2. Washington State leading 3-1. Ballard off the boards for Brandon Smith, trying to get past the blue line. Ends up just having to fire it off, and they'll blow this play dead for being offside, so it looks like there's a little bit of a commotion in front of the Washington State bench, as Oatman was kind of getting in the face of Lex Ballard and a number of Cougs there.
We're going back to that save on Brandon Smith. I think that was strictly reactionary. Just one of those things. Goalie turns, Claudier turns, sees that puck, and just all he could do was tense up, and he made the save. There was no time for him to do anything else.
Evan King off the faceoff, fired it into the shoulder of Claudier. He squeezes, holds on to it, and will force a faceoff with 17 minutes left in period number 2. 3-1, Washington State leading.
Couple of short, quick plays here. The Cougs have kind of hemmed Gonzaga into their own zone, though, this entire time. One chance early on in the period for that top line, and here they come back out here trying to kind of reverse the momentum.
Matthew Taylor and Colton Bowers went to the faceoff circle, and Wazoo wins it. Robinson from the blue line, fired through bodies, off the pads of Claudier, but he contains it, puts the glove over the top of it, and they'll blow it dead.
Matthew Taylor kind of, his style of play reminds me a little bit of Matthew Tkachuk. He's always that guy that's right at the paint, near the goaltender, and he's just trying to get under your skin, and he's really good at that. He's a physical presence on the ice, and he's been a great addition on the return in this spring.
Matthew Taylor, Matthew Tkachuk share a first name and share play style as well. Is that the blue line? Lucas Robinson whiffs on the shot, ends up having to backhand it onto the stick of Evan King. Rattling around, who's going to come up with it? Matthew Taylor attempts to connect to David Bushkin, but it's taken away by Colton Bowers. Here he comes, a feed pass now to Kotchin. A little wide of his stick. Reed Mullen's going to joust with him in the corner. Colton Bowers and Kotchin trying to combine for something. Fired on net, just wide. David Bushkin's going to have to go and fight with Nelson for this puck. It's lost in their feet. You hear the players yelling feet, so they know they've lost it in their own skates. As Chen Yu-sun back into the slot, a shot, pillow save by Cole Eastman. But now it's Bowers in the slot, fires it over to Kotchin, tries to slap it home, can't get it past, and now it's bouncing around, ping-ponging around. Reed Mullen fired it through the neutral zone, hit off the skates of Logan Powers, and he's going to have to find it in his own end.
So unfortunate for Gonzaga right there. Kotchin was wide open for a lead from Bowers, but he just kind of slipped on the ice, and we've seen that even last night. A lot of these players kind of stumbling and slipping on the ice. You just got to wonder what that kind of looks like and what the condition of the ice is.
16 minutes left to play, period number 2. Washington State leading 3-1, a 2-goal margin. Kotchin with the puck in the near wing of his own zone. Passed across now to Nelson. Through the lead, past the red line, blue line, far side, fired it on net, hit off the pads of Cole Eastman. He gets another save. Robinson in his own end at the goal line. Banks it off the boards through the neutral zone, tipped in by Jurgensen, who gets shouldered by Claudier into the boards. He's no worse for wear. Again, physicality is going to play a huge role in this matchup. As Kotchin has it in his own end. Parks himself behind the cage of Claudier. Trying to set up a breakout for Gonzaga. A feed pass for Chen Yu-sun is picked off by Keegan Lucas, freshman defenseman. As he'll just fire it back into the zone. Chen Yu-sun at the neutral zone. Left it for Kotchin. Here comes Kotchin with an opportunity. Fires a shot. Save made by Cole Eastman. Kicks it away. As there's going to be a delayed penalty here. Wazoo touches up. Kotchin was interfered with on his zone entry. And we'll see if they get a penalty or a penalty shot.
Seemingly it's only going to be a penalty, but I think that Kotchin had a clear enough breakaway to be quite honest. I think the Cougs get a little bit lucky here. You do not want to see Kotchin on a penalty shot or a breakaway all alone. And a good effort from Keegan Lucas. Obviously, Mason Kotchin, he's all alone. You just don't want him to have that opportunity. He trips him up a little bit. Still a good save by Eastman. But finally, the first penalty of the game, you spent almost the first 25 minutes without one, and now they have to shut the top line down for Gonzaga with a man up.
And the penalty sheet is no longer clean. Keegan Lucas draws the first penalty of the night. The first man advantage goes to Gonzaga. But here come the Cougs with an opportunity shorthanded. Van Rainer on the far side. He's got Cole Carlson with him. But it's poke checked away by Powers. What a play there to shut down the senior forward, as alternate captain Van Rainer. And now here come the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Kachin along with Bowers. And it's taken away by Cole Carlson. The team captain gets elbowed in the face. No call. Lost his stick. And Gonzaga's going to reset in their own end. Claudier with the puck. Leaves it now for Chen Yu Sun. Here he comes past the logo. Red line, blue line, near side. Here comes Chen Yu Sun with an opportunity. Hands it off to the wing. Poke check to the blue line. And sealed off by Powers. Tries to move it through the legs of Carlson, and he does, but he turns it over to Sam Henry. Banks it off the boards all the way down ice. No icing because of the power play. For our new hockey fans, if your team is on the power play, if the other team clears it down ice, there is no icing. Played off the stick of Bowers. Ballard ends up just firing it back into the zone. 14 minutes left to play in period number 2. 3-1, Washington State leading. David Bushkin takes his puck in the near corner. Backing it out to Ballard from the blue line. Shot from well out, tipped off by ice. The rebound, kicked away. Matthew Taylor, along with David Bushkin, trying to track down this rebound in the corner. Here comes David Bushkin. Fires a shot. He scores! David Bushkin, the freshman, on senior night, gets a goal. Makes it 4-1 with 13 minutes left in the second.
And that penalty kill was fantastic from the Cougars, constantly killing the puck. And right there, you cause a turnover. You got a man falling down in the corner, and you're able to take it. And David Bushkin's going to bury that shot all day long. A huge goal to get for the Cougars. Now you're up 3, and it's shorthanded. And it's good to have a sense of urgency on the power play, but it looks like everything for the Gonzaga Bulldogs right now is just being rushed, and they are just rushing themselves and just turning the puck over. They don't look like the power play they had yesterday.
David Bushkin doing what he does best in the regular season, scoring goals. He had 19 goals and 6 assists in the regular season. As Lazaro, he shoots, he scores! Top shoulder, barring down, Max Lazaro. It's 5-1 Cougs.
And this is some of the best hockey you've seen from the Cougars. And it's 2 goals in less than 20 seconds shorthanded. No offense to Keegan Lucas, but maybe stay in the box. The team is playing at their best shorthanded somehow, and you got 2 goals in less than 20 seconds and an absolute snipe from Lazaro. That's a beauty.
And you got to feel bad for Keegan Lucas watching on from the penalty box, watching your team score 2 shorthanded goals. And if you're Gonzaga, you just cannot let that happen. 1 shorthanded goal is bad enough, but 2, and now it's 5-1. That's brutal.
And now it looks like we have a penalty coming up. This is going to be a slash against Sahovinen. So you'll have 18 seconds of a 5-on-3. If you're Gonzaga, you just went from being down 2 to being down 4 in a matter of less than a half a minute. You got to do something here, and it looks like they're going to call a timeout and try and draw something up for at least the 18 seconds where they have the 2-man advantage.
Well, if the trend holds true, you would expect the Cougs to play even better now that they're down 2 men. 5-on-3. They were down 5-on-4 when they scored those 2 goals. First from David Bushkin, then from Max Lazaro. But now you got Samuli Sahovinen and Keegan Lucas sitting shoulder to shoulder in the penalty box. A freshman on the left, a senior on the right. So 2 very different eras of hockey there in the sin bin. And like you mentioned, a timeout taken here. We'll see Gonzaga is wanting to try and calm things down, get things under control. And for Wazoo, it's about scheming up how you're going to make this a 6-1 game. But we're going to step aside here. So they take a timeout. 13 minutes and 30 seconds left in period number 2, Washington State leading 5-1. Five-on-3 hockey. Washington State down by 2 men. Gonzaga looking to capitalize. And off the draw, they kick it out to Bowers. That's Powers, Logan Powers at the blue line. Hands off to Bowers, who turns it over here to Max Lazaro, trying to fight for it. And here comes Lazaro. Fires it out of the zone. 13 minutes and 20 seconds left. Coming out of the crease, Claudier to play it. Leaves it for Kachin. Lazaro forechecking, along with Matthew Taylor now, but he hands it off to Bowers. Here he comes at the red line. Drops it off for Kachin. Shoulders Matthew Taylor out of the way, and coming up with it is Bowers, trying to escape through 3 Cougs. Backing it onto the stick of Kachin in the wing. Fire to the slot, attempting to just smack it past Cole Eastman. Doesn't work. That was Chen Yu Sung, who has got the only goal though thus far for Gonzaga. As good job by Max Lazaro to kind of turn him away there at the blue line, and now Gonzaga has to touch up.
He's having one heck of a penalty kill right now.
Here comes Kachin trying to skate up Broadway as it poke checked away and cleared aside. Kept in by Gonzaga though. With the puck, Chen Yu Sun tries to skate through bodies, tries to pick up his own pass, and he'll fire across now for Kachin. Has to play it, bouncing off his own blade. Pass to Bowers, goes to Powers. Now Powers to Bowers. Plays off the boards for Cochin. Back to Bowers at the blue line. What will he do? Will he make a pass? Will he shoot? No, he'll drop it off for Cochin. Here comes Cochin. Fires a shot through bodies, tipped up and out of play. The Gonzaga Bulldogs setting up a scoring opportunity there, but ends up with that puck being deflected out of play for a stoppage with 12 minutes left in period number 2.
And it's weird, on this power play, they've looked so good, and especially last night, they looked so good playing together, but now they just look just one step off, one page off, a little bit out of sync, bouncing pucks. There's a lot of things going on here that's just not really characteristic of this top line, and I think that's really why the Cougars have been able to take advantage and score 2 shorthanded goals.
Keegan Lucas fresh out of the penalty box. He's on the ice, 40 seconds left on Samuli Sahovin's penalty. Gonzaga wins the draw. Cochin at the blue line, dancing around, leaves it now for Powers. Dropped it off for Bowers, but now Powers is tied up on the boards. 3 Cougs, 1 Gonzaga Bulldog, and it's swept all the way down ice by the Cougs. They survive another scoring opportunity. Claudier left it for Cochin. He's got Chen Yusung with him. Fakes the handoff, and now here comes Cochin. He's harassed by David Bushkin on the forecheck. Good poke check away from him. Lost in this case. Here comes David Bushkin with a turnover. A shot wide. David Bushkin forechecking hard, almost had a goal as well to get his second of the nights, but ends up sailing it wide. Playing catch on the fence, Keegan Lucas, along with Sam Hembry, as Lucas gets shouldered into the boards by Claudier. Sam Hembry behind his own nets. At the goal line, fired that round to the stick of Matthew Taylor. He breaks it in. He's got Evan King with him, a pair of freshmen. Taylor thinks through his options, pass to Evan King, tries to tip it in, doesn't work, it's swept aside. Powers takes a tumble. Now it's David Bushkin, fired to the slot for Evan King, fires a shot, hit off the body of Bowers, and cleaning up is Chen Yusung for Gonzaga. Here he comes, fires it to the stick of Claudier, tips it into the zone. 11 minutes left in the period, 5-on-5 hockey again, as this puck is tipped off a number of sticks in front, up into the netting for a stoppage of play, with about 11 minutes left in the period. 5-1, Washington State leading.
Unbelievable play by Keegan Lucas. That puck hit off the referee, was going to go deeper into the zone, and was instead left off for the best player on Gonzaga. Cochin now has an opportunity from the circle, and Keegan Lucas with a diving effort to kind of Superman that puck away and tip it into the mesh and away from Cole Eastman.
Van Rayner will go chin to chin with Gillick, and Washington State wins the draw. Ethan Maurer playing in his own corner, gets shoved off the puck, but Van Rayner comes to his aid. Flips it through now off the glove and onto the paddle of Cole Carlson. Here he comes, 2-on-1. Carlson tries to shove Bang off it, but it's turned over to Nelson. The Gonzaga Bulldogs, a good job forcing that turnover. Ballard from well out, tipped off the pads of Claudier. He survives that chance. And now Carlson trying to fight for it, but it's won by Bowers. Glove down by Ballard. Here he comes, pushing up Main Street. Fires a shot, just goes a little wide. Van Rayner in the corner. Misses a hit from Bang. Leaves it for Cole Carlson. Couldn't handle it, and he has to hand it off to Ethan Maurer at the blue line. Dances around, just tiptoes that line. Pushes into the wing. Now Maurer gives it for Jurgensen behind the cage. Back to Maurer in the corner. Moves to the wing. Maurer thinks through his options. Hands off to Van Rayner, but the stick of McLaren Young got in the way, and she backhands it out. A good job by the Gonzaga Bulldogs to survive. Ethan Maurer in his own end hands it off for Van Rayner. Here comes Rayner, the senior alternate captain. Hands it off for Cole Carlson. Tries to move through some bodies. Gives it for Van Rayner. Controls it. A shot. A save made. Jurgensen couldn't connect on it, and they finally do. Jurgensen, 2 shots, and he ends up just shoveling it over for Carlson, who just nets one, his second of the night.
And what a night for Luke Jurgensen in his final game as a Coug. Wow, 2 assists to Carlson, 1 goal from an assist by Carlson. Those 2 guys right there have been a dynamic duo tonight, and they just continue to go to work. We are just over halfway of the second period, and it's getting out of hand. Very mirrored of that first series these 2 teams played. Close game in the first night, and the second game just gets out of hand.
And it was deja vu to the first Carlson goal back in the first. Jurgensen feeding Carlson, who was wide open on a yawning cage, just barely taps it in. As here come the Cougs through the neutral zone. Lucas Clark tries to put on a move, can't get past it. He stood up at the blue line. Ends up having to just shoot it in. 9.5 left in period number 2. 6-1, Washington State leading by a 5-goal margin. Nelson tried to leave it for Bowers, but it's taken away by Lucas Clark behind the cage of Claudier. Bowers comes up with it, fires it past to Cochin, doesn't play it properly, and he's shouldered, submarined by Ethan Maurer. He takes a tumble down to the ice, but here comes Lex Ballard, the freshman defenseman. Gets it onto the stick of Wyatt Perry, ends up spinning to try and push into the zone, and now it's Lex Ballard at the red line. Gives it for Wyatt Perry. They're tangled up with Bowers, and Lex Ballard wins the battle. On the far wing, tied up with Chen Yusung and Nelson. They lose it in their own skates. Ref loses sight of it. They blow this play dead with about 9 minutes left in period number 2. 6-1, Washington State leading.
That was a good old-fashioned hip check from Ethan Maurer. Bends right at the waist, and then all of a sudden you got Kochton, who didn't like that, was shaking the gloves, insinuating he wants to have one. So that was interesting there to see that. But, I mean, in a spring game, I suppose, I don't really know what the rule is on fighting in the final game of the year. I mean, what could the punishment even be?
It's hard to tell in the spring season as Nelson for Gonzaga takes a seat in the sin bin. Washington State gets their first power play of the evening. As Gonzaga wins the draw, fires it off the boards into the netting for another stoppage of play. So we'll just keep this face-off in the Gonzaga quadrant with about 9 minutes left in period number 2.
Gonzaga needs to just keep killing this, but it's almost, is it that give-up range? Is it that give-up range? They're running out of gas. They have the short bench. Is this the point where Gonzaga just kind of just gets throttled here?
Off the draw, Sam Henry at the blue line gives it for Carlson on the wing. Now to the goal line for Max Lazaro. To the slot, slap chance. Then they score. Yes, they do! Carlson, back-to-back hat tricks. He had one last night. He's got one tonight, and it's only the second period.
Cole Carlson maybe trying to beat his record of when he got last night 4 goals, and that was including the empty net. He still has 28 minutes and 44 seconds of anything that could come to his stick, and it's been a magnet this series. He could absolutely get 1 or 2 more. 7 goals in 2 games for the captain Cougar. He's been unbelievable.
You want to talk about earning the right to have fun? It's safe to say you've probably earned the right to have some fun. It's 7-1 in the second. 8.5 left in period number 2. The period of long changes. This puck is iced in the Cougar end, so they'll drag it back to the Gonzaga quadrant. 7-1, Washington State leading after back-to-back goals from Cole Carlson here in the second.
And like we talked about, it was a little bit of a slow start coming from both sides in the first period, but obviously a 5-goal second period, and we still have 8:30 to go. Much better from the Cougars, and exactly kind of how we thought this series would go.
Face off on the near side of the Gonzaga zone. Sam Henry took a run at number 2. That's Cooper Oatman on Gonzaga. And now bouncing around is picked up by Bang for the Zags. Fires it off the boards and down ice for icing. Yes, it just rattled around on the cage and the boards down there in the Cougar end, and the Cougars are able to beat it out, and they'll bring it all the way down ice, 200 feet for another face-off in the Zaga zone.
And obviously, other than Carlson getting a hat trick, it's also really nice to see depth scoring 5 different goal scorers tonight for the Cougars on 7 goals. Not bad to see, especially in the spring when you're focusing on young guys as well.
Claudier rings it around the board. Sam Henry in the foyer in the neutral zone will lift it high and into the Zaga zone. Claudier tracks it down behind the cage of his brother Logan Claudier in net. Fired a shot on net. It's contained by Claudier. The Cougs just trying to catch Gonzaga sleeping there on a turnover opportunity. Was trying to make it 8-1, but Claudier's got a good head on his shoulder, sees that puck, and makes the save.
Heck of a play. Claudier did not even see Sahovan, and Sahovan kind of came a little bit from behind, just jabbing the stick, trying to get the puck away. He got it off the stick right to Lazaro, but a big save. Claudier was ready.
Matthew Taylor facing off with William Gillick for Gonzaga on the far face-off circle. It's won by Gonzaga. They fire it down ice, tipped off a Coug, so no icing. Eastman has to come out of the crease to play it. Gets it onto the blade of Sam Henry on the far side. Lifts it high, picked up by Gillick. No, was unable to bat that puck down. And now it's Evan King, the freshman from Seattle, on the near side, trying to shake off Powers. What are his options? Fires it to the slot, lost in their skates. Claudier's trying to dive on top of it. It's still loose, and they score! Holy smokes! The Cougs take advantage of some chaos hockey. Not sure who's going to get the Geno, but it is now 8-1 in the second period.
Looked like Bushkin got the last touch on that, and he'll have his second of the evening. He has been incredible. He will absolutely be the future of this Cougar offense. Cole Carlson still has a couple years left, of course, so that'll be nice to have him as that veteran. But David Bushkin is going to be a scary sophomore. I don't think he'll have any sophomore slump coming his way, but the Cougars just keep continuing to score. Still 7:30 left in the second, and they have 8. This could really get scary on the scoreboard.
Well, Carlson has a hat trick, and now David Bushkin on the hat trick watch as Cochran right off the draw tried to power move it past Cole Eastman. Cole Eastman took a tumble. A shot from Powers from the blue line is gloved by Eastman. Man, he's just putting on a clinic so far in the crease.
There's that good old-fashioned rainbow glove save there by Eastman. He kind of got ran over a little bit in the crease, had to recover and make that save from the point. Powers was just trying to catch him out of position, but he was ready.
And I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, it was a no goal. They waved off the David Bushkin tally, so it is still 7-1. Must have been goaltender interference in front of the net of Claudier. So like I mentioned, David Bushkin no longer on the hat trick watch as they had that one wiped away. And in the neutral zone, it's the Cougs trying to break in. Carlson attempted to poke check it away from Powers, but he's unable to. And now here comes Jurgensen on the near wing. Backhands it across for Carlson, looking for his fourth. He's got it! Jurgensen to Carlson for the fourth time tonight. It is incredible.
And these passes, I don't know if they keep getting better or what. That is an unbelievable sauce pass by Luke Jurgensen. And again, a moment where he could absolutely shoot that, take it himself, but instead he sauces one over on the backhand. Carlson had all the time in the world. He actually fanned on the first try, was able to put home again, and back-to-back 4-goal games for 24 in black.
I was about to update the scoreboard to revert it back to 7-1, but Carlson does my job for me and tallies another one, gets his 4th goal of the evening. 3 straight in the second period. He had 1 in the first, and now he's got 3 straight in the second. Behind the cage, it's Lucas Robinson feeding it across for Ethan Maurer, now backhanded onto the stick of Sam Hembry. And at the logo, it's picked up by Claudier for Gonzaga. Hands it off for Kotchin, banks it off the boards into the zone. Colin Keenan, one of the seniors being honored tonight, has to track it down. Backhands it for Kotchin. He tries to play it around for Chen Yu-sun, but he wasn't there. And now the Cougs, 3 Cougs, 1 Zag fighting for this puck. And Chen Yu-sun wins the battle. Backhands it on the stick of Bowers. He's got it, fired to the slot. No, laying out was Samuli Sahovinen to take away that lane. Pardon me, that's Lucas Clark. And here comes Clark into the zone. Up Broadway, has a poke checked away, and he gets slammed. Claudier and Bowers just sandwich him. He's down on the ice. He's hurt, and they'll have to blow this play dead. That is a scary sight on the ice here in the Palouse.
Well, I think there was lots of smiles just before that, and they kind of got taken away on the Cougar bench. Keegan Lucas went down hard there, and he's laying on his stomach. You hope he's okay. Coach Lupinacci now coming out. Looks like Lucas is trying to make it back to his feet, and he seems to be good enough to do that, and that's very, very good to see. That was a huge collision.
Lucas Clark last year in the regular season had 1 goal and 2 assists. He's the brother of Michael Clark, who had 1 goal and 4 assists in the regular season. Both Pullman natives and both juniors as well. Now we're going to have a face-off in the Gonzaga zone. A penalty going towards the Zags. Number 19, Colton Bowers, will take a seat in the sin bin. So the Cougs up a man, 5-on-4. Here comes Cole Carlson on the far wing. Puck on his blade. He'll drop it off for Keegan Lucas. Now bumper to Lex Ballard. Fired a shot from well out. Pad save by Claudier. Behind the cage, it's Cole Carlson. Trying to set things up. Trying to quarterback this offense on the power play. He skates around, circles the track, and hands it off for Sam Hembry on the wing. Fired through bodies. Trying to connect with Keegan Lucas. He wasn't quite in position, and now he'll clean it up. Circling the track at the top of the blue line. Moves into the near wing. Hands it off for Lex Ballard at the top of the point. Backhand leaves it for Carlson. Will he fire a shot? He'll think about it, and we'll circle back. 5 minutes left in the frame. Dropped off for Keegan Lucas. Now out in front, it's backhanded for Ballard. Back to Lucas on the far wing. He'll fire a shot through bodies. Went well wide, nowhere near target. And Sam Hembry has to clean it up. Shovels it onto the stick of Lex Ballard. Will he fire a pass? No, he'll give it across for Keegan Lucas. Now to the slot. Lex Ballard, a slap chance. He can't connect on it. Whiffed on it. And it's swept away to the foyer. Cougs are going to have to touch up.
All smiles from Lex Ballard despite missing that. I just think he knows, man, that was my opportunity.
Sam Hembry plays it off his own skate and now hands it for Carlson. Moves through a body. He's got it on his backhand. What are his options? Thinks about it. Continues to circle the track. He's got too many to pass to. Cougs still up a man for the next 40 seconds. Hands it off for Sam Hembry on the wing. He's harassed by the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Penalty kill, but he gives it for Carlson at the top of the blue line. Now to the far wing for Lex Ballard. Out in front, a tipped on net. Save made by Claudier. The rebound, Gonzaga has it. It's onto the stick of Cooper Oatman. He flips it through the neutral zone, down ice, and the Gonzaga will survive that opportunity.
Lots of looks here. I think the Cougars are trying to get a little bit pretty with it on this power play, and I think they can afford to do that. 8-1, 4 minutes to go. Look out here.
Here comes Carlson, but he's shoved off the puck. Turned over to Lex Ballard. He's got it on his backhand. Moves to his forehand. It's too wide of his stick, and he's got to chase down his own opportunity. In the corner, hand off to Max Lazaro behind the cage of Claudier. The penalty is expiring. The last 2 seconds tick off the clock, and we're back to even strength. Here comes Gonzaga trying to capitalize on the man out of the box, but here come the Cougs back into the zone. Cole Carlson tips it to himself past Nelson. He's on his backhand, tries to stop on a dime. He's got two Zags pinning him into the boards, taking him off, take it away from him, and they do. Nelson wins the battle, gets it to Chen Yu Sung. Here he comes in the neutral zone, now to the stick of Bowers. He's on the near side, trying to muscle in, tries to shake off two Cougs, three Cougs, unable to do it. They slap it, they try to slap it past Cole Eastman, doesn't get past him, and now here comes Keegan Lucas with the puck. In transition for Washington State past the blue line. Tries to put on a move. He's poke checked away by Claudier. And it's Kotchin at the logo. Breaks it into the zone on the far side. What are his options? Will he pass or will he shoot? Circles the track. He's harassed and harangued by Lucas Robinson. Gets shoved into the boards by Lucas. Robinson and Lucas, the pair of defensemen for Washington State on the ice at the moment. Bowers pirouetting on the near corner. Tries to put a power move on, but he's poke checked and shoved down to the ice. Cleaning it up is Kotchin. Puts on a move and shakes off Keegan Lucas. What will he do? He'll fire a shot that rang off the body of Reed Mullen, but it's kept in by Bang. He gets shoved by Matthew Taylor into the boards, and here come the Cougs. Lucas Robinson skating it through the neutral zone, past the logo, blue line near side. What will he do? Moves it through the legs of Claudier. He's in the corner. Passes it to the slots, but no one was there. Now Dave Bushing to clean it up. Backhand around the boards, picked up by Claudier behind the cage of his brother. Sealed off by Colin Keenan at the blue line. Fired through by his shot, and it tips away. Now it's Bang, backhanding it around. Matthew Taylor, guy got tangled up with Claudier. They're exchanging words, and now they're going to fight for this puck in the corner. Evan King fired it around for David Bushkin. He wasn't quite in position to play it, as he just goes blade to blade, shoulder to shoulder with Bang. Two Cougs, two Zags fighting for this puck as it's tied up on the far wing. Winning is Chen Yu Sung. He's got Kotchin for an outlet pass. Can you get it to him? He's trying to shoulder off to Colin Keenan, and he does. Fires a shot, sealed off by Cole Eastman. The rebound, can the Cougs collect it? They can't. Evan King with the puck. 2 minutes left in the frame. Washington State leading 8-1. He gets onto the blade of Matthew Taylor, who's tied up with Powers, Logan Powers, and Evan King picks his pocket. Here comes Evan King on the near side. Will he put a shot on goal? Yes, he will. 5-hole score! 9-1. Washington State leading by an 8-goal margin with about 2 minutes left in the frame.
And good to see Evan King getting on the scoring train as well. I think the whole lineup by the end of this third period just might get on the score sheet. And even the top line for the Zags right now, not even noticeable out there anymore. This Cougar team is just having so much fun, and with that, they're dominating, and they're just coinciding with one another. This is an incredible performance from them.
Like you said, really good to see Evan King getting on the score sheet. He only had 2 goals and 2 assists on the year. Bar down again! Max Lazaro! Deja vu! Another one on the near side. Wrist shot over the shoulder of Claudier. Double digits on the Palouse.
And skates it away and doesn't even care about it. 10 goals, double digits. Max Lazaro, the exact same spot he went the first time, does it again. Crossbar and down.
I'm running out of space on my note card to write down all the goal scores for Washington State. A double-digit performance after that. Top shelf, over-the-shoulder tuck from Max Lazaro, reminiscent of his first of the evening. And now it's Lazaro again with the puck. Shakes off a man at the blue line, thinks through his options. Pass to Van Rainer. Pardon me, it's Keegan Lucas. Tries to tip it in. Sealed off by Claudier, and they'll blow it dead. A little pushing and shoving out in front of Claudier, but cooler heads will prevail with about a minute left in period number 2.
That was one beautiful pass. It got all the way through traffic and all the way to the stick of Keegan Lucas. That was one heck of a pass. But Claudier was ready for that one somehow. 1:11 to go. 10 goals for the Cougars, and they still got a whole another period.
I mentioned it earlier when the Cougs only had, I believe, a 7-1 lead, that you've earned the right to have fun. I don't even know what you've earned now with the 10-1 lead, as it'll be Cooper Oatman and Van Rainer going eye to eye in the far faceoff circle. And off the draw, it's Gillick firing it around, trying to connect with Claudier, but Lucas will pick it off. It's tipped on net, almost rattled in, and now it's Henry from well out, fired a shot right off the body of Oatman, cleaned up by McLaren Young, and here's an opportunity for Oatman. Can he get on his horse? Can he beat it out? No, he's taken away by Van Rainer. Fired to the slot, Lucas will pick it off, and here come the Cougs with a minute left. Can they get 11? Carlson with the puck on the far side, stops on a dime, passes around to Van Rainer. He shoots well high and wide. A good opportunity for Rainer to get his first of the night, but he can't quite sneak it past Claudier. Now it's Jurgensen, near side at the goal line. Push to the slot, Carlson there. He'll play it behind the cage, wrap around, trying to stuff it past the pads of Claudier. Doesn't work, and now he's harassed and pinned into the boards by Claudier. That's Caden Claudier, not Logan Claudier, who's in crease for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. 20 seconds left in the frame. 10-1 Washington State leading. Tipped off the stick of Oatman down into the zone. Will the Cougs have a last-minute push here with 10 seconds left? Well, we'll see here with about 5 seconds left. Banked off the boards for Van Rainer. Tries to play. He's tied up by 2 Bulldogs. The last 2 seconds tick off the clock. The Cougs explode in the second period of action. Make this a 10-1 game. And there are still 20 minutes left in period number 3 here on senior night. I don't think there's a better way to send off your seniors than what you're seeing right now.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's an 8-goal second period from the Cougars. And obviously, we talked about yesterday, we saw 8 goals in the second period, but they were split right down the middle. 6 goals, split right down the middle. Okay, each team gets 3. You get an 8-goal period today, and it's all 8 go to the Cougs. They have showed nothing but domination that second period. And again, we talked about it. We kind of thought it was going to go this way. Game 1 is always a feel-out process for this Cougar team, and with the Zags, it's always close. But in the second game, they know what to do, and they've done it yet again. 10-1 going into period 3. What is there really not to talk about, especially offensively for the Cougs?
This is absolutely deja vu from the first 2 games of the season. That first game in October in Spokane, Washington State, it was looking like they might have lost to Gonzaga, right? The first period or so, they got out to a lead, and then Cole Carlson was the captain. Captain Calgary was the hero of that game, had a hat trick to get you back into that game to win against Gonzaga. And then game 2, Van Rainer had 2 hat tricks in the same game, had 6+ goals in that game, and was able to help you win 11-0. It was an absolute blowout, and it's what you're seeing again here tonight. Both games mirrored perfectly from the early season. 10-1, Washington State leading. It was kicked off here in the second period by the 6-year student, Luke Jurgensen, got his first goal of the day. Then it was the freshman, David Bushkin. Then it was Lazaro. Then it was Carlson. Then it was Carlson again. And then it was Carlson again. And then Evan King. And then only moments later, it was Max Lazaro doing the exact same thing on the near side, top shelf, over the shoulder, bar and in. An absolute explosion of offense in the second period, but we still have 20 minutes left to play. This game is not over by any means. Weirder things have happened in the ACHA, but still, 10-1, Washington State leading. We'll be back for period number 3 here at the Palouse Ice Rink on senior night for Washington State hockey. You're listening and watching Washington State hockey on KUGR, Cougar College Radio. Don't you dare go away.
Martzoff fired it in off the skate there of Robinson, who angles it off the glass and out. And now an opportunity for the man, the myth, Cole Carlson, all alone. Score! A shorthanded goal. He is now pointed 3 of 3. Amazing forecheck, but now Matthew Taylor sends it. Carlson lets the howitzer go. He scores!
Beautiful
What a snipe.
shot. Beautiful.
What a snipe. Cole Carlson on the power play, and the Cougars have cut the lead in half.
As he's got 2 Cougs pinning him against the boards. And here comes a feed pass for Cole Carlson with a head of steam. Can he get a shorty? Backhand, dangles, shot, he scores! A shorthanded goal. Cole Carlson, the team captain, puts the team on his back and cuts the lead to only 1.
We'll try our best as here's an opportunity. David Bushkin getting around. Moving on in and a shot. He scores! David Bushkin!
He's got David Bushkin, the freshman. He stops and sharks. Puts a shot and goal. He scores! David Bushkin, the freshman. 8 goals so far this year. It just continues.
Gets it back. The Eagles under major pressure. Bushkin toward the net. He sails it! Washington State takes a 5-3 lead with 13 seconds to go and a dagger.
And here the Cougs come once again. Van Rainer pushing it up. The tall forward shoots, scores! What a wrist shot right there from Van Rainer as he gets a hattie. My, oh my, what a shot right there. It's a 5-0 hockey game as Van Rainer doing a good job fighting, able to stick it clear and keep the possession for the Cougs. Here comes Van Rainer again, makes a move. Rainer drives it towards the net. Agafladier, top right, bang! My, oh my, Van Rainer has 5. As they're breaking in once again, that's Nico. He might be looking for the hat. He tries to send it out in front of Kings Kelly. Nothing found, but Van by himself, and he scores! What is happening? Lazaro looking to get something going. Makes number 20 of the Vandals miss. Sends it out front to Van Rainer. One-timer, Lazaro shoots it, scores! My, oh my!
Out of the hands there of Ryder. Carlson was crushed by Ryder. Lazaro, score! What a snipe! That goes top glove. There was a penalty called on the play. And that one straight away ahead for Carlson. Carlson dropping it off Lazaro. A little crisscross. Lazaro, a shot. He scores! Max Lazaro, top shelf yet again. Martzoff fired it in off the skate there of Robinson, who angles it off the glass and out. And now an opportunity for the man, the myth. Cole Carlson all alone. Score! A shorthanded goal. He is now pointed 3 of 3. Amazing forecheck, but now Matthew Taylor sends it. Carlson lets the howitzer go. He scores!
Beautiful
What a snipe.
shot. Beautiful.
What a snipe. Cole Carlson on the power play, and the Cougars have cut the lead in half.
As he's got 2 Cougs pinning him against the boards. And here comes a feed pass for Cole Carlson with a head of steam. Can he get a shorty? Backhand, dangles, shot. He scores! A shorthanded goal. Cole Carlson, the team captain, puts the team on his back and cuts the lead to only 1.
We'll try our best as here's an opportunity. David Bushkin getting around. Moving on in and a shot. He scores! David Bushkin!
He's got David Bushkin, the freshman. He stops and sharks. Puts a shot and goal. He scores! David Bushkin, the freshman. 8 goals so far this year. It just continues.
Gets it back. The Eagles under major pressure. Bushkin toward the net. He sails it! Washington State takes a 5-3 lead with 13 seconds to go and a dagger.
And here the Cougs come once again. Van Rainer pushing it up. The tall forward shoots, scores! What a wrist shot right there from Van Rainer as he gets a hattie. My, oh my, what a shot right there. It's a 5-0 hockey game as Van Rainer doing a good job fighting, able to stick it clear and keep the possession for the Cougs. Here comes Van Rainer again, makes a move. Rainer drives it towards the net. Agafladier, top right, bang! My, oh my, Van Rainer has 5. As they're breaking in once again, that's Nico. He might be looking for the hat. He tries to send it out in front of Kings Keller, nothing found, but Van by himself, and he scores! What is happening?
You're listening to a KUGR production.
Good pass down low to Erikstrup, and he scores off the glass.
Your eyes and ears for all your favorite Wazoo athletics.
He doesn't get it! He stuffed at the line!
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game.
And now, back to the game. You're listening to Cougar Hockey on KUGR.
A game that was close, at least after the first. We're here after the second, and a 1-goal contest has turned into a 9-goal contest. 10-1, the Cougars lead in the final game of the spring. That is at least until September, when the 2026 to 2027 season will kick off. But for now, senior night going pretty well, I would say, for Washington State. Obviously, Luke Jurgensen with a multi-point night. He's got a goal, quite a few assists to Cole Carlson. But we are back. I'm Zach McFarlane, joined by Smith Slye in what looks to be the final period of hockey for the year. And it has been successful. What can we even expect from this third period, Smith?
Well, I mean, I mentioned it, the fact that you have to earn the right to have fun. And I'm pretty sure the Cougs have done more than that here with a 10-1 lead, plenty of cushion going into the third period of action. And when you look back to that game that the Cougs played against Idaho a little bit earlier, they came out of the third period, they were up by a good amount, and they had fun. That's kind of what they did. I'm not going to be surprised if you see that with the Cougs today. They're going to come out in this third period, and they are going to have fun. They have earned that. They have enough cushion to be able to play around, have some fun in the third period. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see some fun. You're going to see some hijinks, some shenanigans going on the ice for the third period. Obviously not too much. You're still trying to take this serious. It's still a game that it's not a regular season game. It's a spring season game. But I don't think there's a better game to cap off the year than what you're having right now. The very first game of the season against Idaho was a blowout in Eastern, and you're capping off the year with a blowout. It's a blowout sandwich, with the blowouts being the bread. You got the blowout at the beginning of the year, the blowout at the end of the year, and then you got the rest of the regular season in between. So this is such a great, amazing way for Washington State to close out the year and go in strong to the 2026-2027 season.
And when talking to Cole Carlson yesterday, he mentioned that, despite this game kind of essentially, other than senior night, being just one of those games in spring, he said they take the offseason pretty seriously, and I think that the win here is nice to have going into the offseason, nice to propel, and especially for recruitment. The recruitment is going strong for them, and this is already a young team with a young base that could do really great things if you just give them a year or two. We could absolutely see them in that top 4 mix of the Pac-8 going for that championship that has not been brought home yet to this club. But, of course, 25 seconds till these two teams hit the ice, and you got to even wonder what the approach is for Gonzaga. You're down 9. Your top line has looked unnoticeable in that entire second period. They could not get anything going. And now the Cougars up 9. Maybe they try and really now kind of pass and prioritize the seniors for goals?
You would hope so. I mean, Jurgensen had a couple opportunities where he could have gotten 2, 3 goals, ended up saucering across, and that's why you see Cole Carlson with 3 goals in the second period. He had a hat trick in the second period alone, but of course he had one in the first, so he got the hat trick early and then got a hat on a hat and got his 4th goal of the game. And to be perfectly honest with you, Zach, I would not be surprised if you see Cole Carlson score another one, maybe 2 more in the third period. And I know that Gonzaga, when they were coming off the ice, were talking with the refs. I believe they were talking about possibly calling the game because for Gonzaga, losing 10-1, you don't really want to come out of the locker room anymore. You're losing by 9 goals. And you saw that in the second game that the Cougs played with them in October. Half the team, half the Gonzaga roster just did not come out for the third period of action, and they can't really afford to do that because, like I mentioned, they only have 6 players on the bench at any given time. So for Gonzaga, you can't afford to quit, but you're at the moment where you kind of start to quit a little bit.
No doubt, and it looks like the starting lineup will contain 3 of the seniors. The lone senior not in this lineup to start right now, Samuli Sahovanen, Carlson, Rayner, the only non-seniors in this starting lineup for the third period. As we're underway, Gonzaga wins the draw, and we'll go a cross-ice dump in, taken and backhanded by Keenan. Feathered through to Rayner. Ahead for Carlson, just like you said, maybe looking for number 5. Carlson just whistles that one by the right post wide. Jurgensen now racing after it with the help of Carlson. He speeds on by and bounces it back to the point. Hembry faked the drive and then shoved it down below the goal line. Jurgensen spun that out. Carlson reaches and grabs it off and then goes back down low, but Bowers is going to intercept that puck along the board. Jurgensen gets loose puck back, shovels that one back to the point. Keenan nudges one down low off the boards again. Jurgensen stood up but a shot on goal save, and the rebound kicked in behind the cage. Rayner slaps that one along for Carlson, relays it back to the point. Hembry let one go, and that's well wide of the cage, and then all the way back to the other point. Keenan chasing after it, winning that battle against Kochton. Now a loose puck kind of in the skates of Sun. Rayner comes out with it, threw one down low, and oh my goodness, Carlson tips it wide and then looks up into the short rafters here as Hembry keeping the puck and pressure on for the Cougars, but not for long. Sun trying to get it out, but they keep it alive. Hembry, Carlson, backhand one across, didn't go. The rebound puck is loose. No one knows where it is. In the crease, and it is covered by the netminder with 18:35 still to go in period 3.
And Gonzaga seeming very weak at the very beginning of this third period. Washington State's kind of walking all over them a little bit in this third period. Because again, you're down by 9 goals. It can be hard to compete for the last 20 minutes. You still have 20 minutes left to play, 18 and a half in this third. You can't quite give up. You can't go out with a whimper.
And they sure look like they are right now. Lucas hurries one over to Ballard. That one right into the face area there of Sahovanen, and kind of reactionary swats that one down, but it's now taken by Bang. Below the goal line, tries to feed it up the wall, cannot. Loose puck comes to Sahovanen, sent one out in front looking for the stick, and it comes back. Lucas a shot, and that one up into the short ceiling off of a twig in front and out of play. 18-11 to go. I was wondering when they had kind of the conversation about calling it maybe if there was going to be a running clock even for this third period, but it does not seem to be the case. And 18-11 left, and some of the players' careers, 4 of them at least as a Cougar. Claudier battling with Sahovanen now. He is one of those 4. Brandon Smith below the goal line. Tried to get away from Bang. Bang gets away from him and now still fighting for Sahovanen. Puck is shoved up the wall. Lucas keeping it alive with his skate. Lazaro, who's had 2 beautiful goals and beautiful shots, can't keep it in. Neither can Lucas. And Ballard will retrieve in his own zone and calm it down.
Now, you mentioned possibly calling this game or having a running clock, but knowing Lupinacci, he wants to milk this for as much as he possibly can. These are the last moments of a lot of these guys in a Cougar jersey. It's the wrong game to call or have a running clock for. If it was a regular season game just in the middle of the year and you want to have a running clock, that's fine. This is senior night. You cannot afford to waste any second for these seniors.
They got to take in all that they can, and they only have less than a period left now as well. There's a 4-man scrum, unproductive. No one coming out with it. Gillick maybe poking it ahead, finally grabbing it, but he is pressured, and the loose puck almost gets to the stick of Eaton, but Ballard takes that away. Turns and speeds up ice. Up the middle, nice dance around, but he loses the puck on Nelson. And now Logan Powers trying to get out with it. Gets by a couple of Cougars. as he had that one stolen away, but taken by Coxton, and a shot off the back glass as that run rose above the crossbar. Off the skate of Taylor. Can he poke it away from Powers? No. Powers puts it back into the Cougar zone, and now Coxton trying to get on Lex Ballard. Sun keeps it alive at the blue line. To Bowers, top of the slot, finds a wrister and kicked out by Eastman. Taylor sends that one out off the glass. Brandon Smith, can he split the defense on in? He's got a chance, and the puck rolls across the red line. In below the goal line now again. King shovels one off back to Taylor in the corner. Changes direction and now hands it off at the point for Robinson. Brandon Smith going for a change. There's King, circle, sauce one in front, and could not find Taylor, who goes down to the ice, and he is a little slow to get up. Sun takes a big hit from David Bushkin. My goodness, but an offside as you have Taylor, who is slow to get up, still trying to get back across the blue line and now hunched over and headed to the bench. You hope he is all right. And Sun is also slow to get up himself.
David Bushkin used all 6 feet and 185 pounds that he's got to just make a wall, and Shen Yu-sung just could not get past him. That has got to hurt. It's one of those things where, immovable object meet, unstoppable force, but the immovable object came out on top, and that time with David Bushkin, that is just painful to watch.
I don't think Shen Yu-sung saw any of it coming, and that's worse. Jurgensen takes that one away from Banks. Sauce it ahead for Carlson. Those two just keep connecting tonight. Carlson cannot dance around cleanly, but he sent one in front and a save made there. No, they score. And it is Van Rayner. 6 goals in the last series against. In the one game, he hasn't gotten on the board yet, and he does now, and it feels complete. 11-1 Cougars with 15:37 to go in regulation.
Van Rayner, he had 15 goals, 16 assists in the regular season. He led the team for power play goals. It's why we call him the trash man. That's kind of his whole job, cleans up the trash on those rebound opportunities. So kind of doing what he does best. He scores. That's what he does. And he finally was able to break the seal in this game.
Arguably the most improved player on the year, coming out in this season and averaging 1.11 points per game. He has been fantastic this year as you got Jurgensen trying to vie toward the slot. Can't, and now a one-on-one opportunity. Nelson against Mullen. Mullen with the long reach, able to poke that one away. And this one sauce, but kept alive by Oatman. Does he have an opportunity? No. The whistle has gone. I'm not sure if they're going to call an offsides. It looked like the puck stayed alive, but we will have a stoppage. Just under 5 minutes gone by in the third period, and a 10-goal difference here in favor of the team in black. Zags win the draw. Keenan banks that one off the boards, back out to center. Keenan will race after it after the cross-ice dump in, and we have some extracurricular going on. Looks like Wyatt Perry was involved with Cooper Oatman, and a whistle gone, so maybe a penalty coming here, or coincidental minors perhaps, and that's exactly what is going on. Wyatt Perry to the box, Cooper Oatman to the box, and you got to wonder if it will be 4-on-4 or if they will just keep 5-on-5 out there.
You'd hope it's 4-on-4. 4-on-4 is a very different kind of hockey. I kind of like it. A little bit more room to set up some different kind of plays, make those extra passes and everything. And with Wyatt Perry in the box, it makes you want to look at Wyatt Perry on the stat sheet. Only 1 goal, 1 point in the regular season. And if you get into the Wayback Machine, you go back to look at where that 1 goal came from. It came against Gonzaga.
There are some instances where they go 5-on-5 with the coincidental minors, but not this. It is 4-on-4. Keenan walks in through one to the front, directed on target, popped up into the air, over the top of the net, and now for Bushkin. Let it for Keenan, and a shot into the chest. What a stop by Claudier, looking for the first goal this year for Keenan on senior night, and he was denied.
Hey, you want to talk about giving seniors a chance to get something into the net? Colin Keenan looks like he's shot out of a cannon right now. Here on the 4-on-4 opportunity, just broke into the zone, got the puck. He doesn't get very many scoring opportunities, and he's making it count.
Bang with speed, comes right in and a shot, pushed away wide by the pillow, and then he is hit heavily, and the arm has come up for the official. And this could be a number of things, but probably a boarding, and it's actually going to be contact to the head. An interesting call. It was definitely a penalty, but I'm not sure if that was the one. And it is Colin Keenan, who almost had a goal, will now go to the sin bin, and it will be 4-on-3 with the rarest power play in hockey coming in favor of the Bulldogs.
I was just saying that the opportunities, the offensive opportunities for Colin Keating aren't always there, and now he's down 2 minutes. He's 2 fewer minutes to be able to get on the board as a senior.
Zags with an opportunity to get back within 9. Here's Bowers, a shot punched out by the blocker emphatically there by Eastman. Kochton regains control. Nice sauce pass over the stick of Taylor to Claudier. They'll go down low in the corner and then back to Claudier. Sends one over. Kochton doesn't one-time it. Calms it down, leaves it off Bowers' circle. Back skating and gliding away. Sends it down low. Kochton at the circle. Shoots and blocked. Lucas, what an effort defensively, and he will also clear it back down. Taylor now taking it away. A wraparound, scores! Taylor pickpockets Claudier and laughs it off to 12-1. Cougars shorthanded.
Matthew Taylor must have had the cloak of invisibility on because Claudier did not see him, thought he was leaving it for a Bulldog, but it was Matthew Taylor right there. Says, thank you very much, wraparounds it. It's 12-1. This is one of the biggest blowouts we've seen for the Cougs this year.
12 goals, and then Hembry puts on his 2 cents on net, and it is covered by Claudier with 1 followed by triple threes after left on the clock. Under 7 minutes played. 2 goals scored this period from the Cougars and 2 goals scored in the first. And then, of course, if you missed the second, it was a pretty big chapter. 8 goals for them. And this is a 11-goal contest. Gonzaga, instead of being productive on their power play, had a shorthanded goal against.
And you should know, too, that was the 3rd shorthanded goal for Washington State in this game. They had 2 in the second, and now they've got another one. So clearly the Cougs are doing really great on the penalty kill. They're doing really great down a man.
Maybe they need to take more penalties in a very, at least, healthy way. Obviously, nothing cheap or dirty, but here comes Bowers. Nice sauce play over to Sun. He has a wide open chance. Save made as it shrugged away again. Lucas gloves that one down to himself and clears it the rest of the way. Wyatt, Perry, and Oatman getting ready to come out of the box, and they do now. 5-on-4 for the next 31 seconds as the Colin Keenan minor still active. Sahovinen. Good forechecking here against this top line, keeping them hemmed in their own zone. Sun, 20 seconds to go on the man advantage. Fans on the dump in. Lazaro takes it away, and then he gives it up. Bowers walks in, has options, threw it to the front, safe rebound, and it is capped out by Eastman. What a stop. Oatman unable to keep it alive. 5 to go on the power play. Bowers gets back on side to Powers, and that one is errant, and maybe an opportunity for Smith moving on in. Spins away from trouble and then can't float it toward the net. Had Sahovinen and Carlson there. Cole Carlson could have been looking for 5. Powers trying to dance away from Sahovinen, and the loose puck will float to the stick of Robinson. Back to center. This will go cross ice to Carlson. He's got an opportunity. Moving on in again. Carlson, wraparound try. Didn't go. The rebound. Puck is loose. A scramble at the top of the crease. Nobody knows where it is. And that one rose above the crossbar again, I believe, off the stick of Sahovinen. Finally, the chaos clears. Back it is Ballard. Sends one across. Robinson a shot. He scores! What a snipe! Robinson puts up lucky number 13.
Lucas Robinson had no goals in the regular season. He's got 2 tonight, and that was a straight snipe right past the dome of Claudier. Nothing he can do about it. And I also have to say, you got to feel bad for Samuli Sahovinen. He's had a couple scoring opportunities in this period and in this game as well, but he can't get anything past the red line. So you got to wonder, are they going to start feeding Sahovinen the puck more, or is he going to go scoreless on senior night?
You do have to wonder. This has been just everyone joining the train of scoring. 3 goals now for the Cougars in this period. Like you mentioned, 3 shorthanded goals in the game. 2 came on the same power play within 20 seconds of each other. Maybe even less. Robinson now, just after his 2nd goal, maybe he can get that hat trick as well. Backhands one on. That's going to go off the backside of King and then will be placed by Claudier right back into the zone. Ballard in behind. Nice little Sidney Crosby move to get by. Saw Carlson do that a little earlier. That went into the skates of Holtman. Ballard took it away from Eaton. Ahead for Perry. Dropped his stick on a relay pass from Robinson. Now it is taken by Bang and controlled in his own zone. 10:48 to go, 13-1 in favor of the Cougars. If you're just joining us, you have missed a lot of goals. Just shy from 2 touchdowns put up on Gonzaga by the Cougars. As a delayed offside waiting here. Bang's got to get back onside, but King looks to rush up the left wing. King dances through a couple of Zags and maybe left it off for Holtman, but it's sticked away, and he left it down below the goal line. The rolling puck edges along the end board. Back to the point it comes. It will go all the way down, and it will be an icing by Ethan Maurer, who was able to get down there and draw it with 10:15 to go.
I will say it is senior night, but it's been a lot of non-seniors getting on the board for Washington State. Cole Carlson to name one, Lazaro to name another, Bushkin, Robinson, Evan King, I mean, Van Rainer. The list goes on. I've said it a couple times. I said it back in the second that I was running out of space on my card to put all the goal scorers. But, I mean, it's just getting absolutely insane. And still, we're only midway through the third. Still 10 minutes left to play in this 13-1 Washington State lead.
There's plenty of scoring opportunities, I'm sure, still to come. Here's Brandon Smith out in front for Lazaro, who's also on hat-trick watch. Kept alive by Mullen just barely, and a shot by him that is gloved as he shakes his head. Had a good opportunity there. Got a goal last evening, but couldn't there. 9:56 to go, finally over halfway played in this third period.
We should note as well, we've called his name a couple times, but Brandon Smith, he's a senior, but he is not being honored tonight for senior night, and the reason why is that he will be returning next year because eligibility in ACHA and club sports is a little bit different than it is in Division I. If you're a full-time student and you're paying dues, you can play. It doesn't matter if you're 21, 22, 35, or 50, you can still play club sports if you're a full-time student paying dues.
And the same goes for Van Rainer. He is technically a senior, but will be back next season as the window of opportunity not closing for the Cougars, if anything, and it's only opening wider and wider as we head into next season. Leaving it off at his son, and then kind of unable to communicate there with Kochton as this one slammed back in by Smith. Powers stumbling over that puck. Lazaro pursuing him, and it's finally cleared out to Bowers. He might have a rush 2-on-2 with Sun. Bowers toe drags but leaves the puck behind, and the loose puck comes taken by Kochton. He'll trace the edge of the rink here and then get pushed along the board there by Sahovinen. Mullen trying to win the scrum battle. He will eventually. Zags finally able to find their way out. Bowers still can't toe drag by, and it's still in behind the net. And Maurer will kind of reverse it after he cleared it out to the sidewall. Cloutier a shot, and that one again fought off by Eastman, who had no idea where that went originally. Now Cloutier threw it to the front, directed, and just wide of the target. Lazaro trying to come out with it. He will block one ahead and then try and beat Kochton, and he does 2-on-1. Lazaro a shot, and off the blocker of Cloutier. Had Smith maybe trailing in a 2-on-1. Smith fires this one in, delayed offside for the moment, off the skate of Bowers, and Hembry will regain control in the own zone. Hembry walking up. You'd love to see him get on the board as well. Hembry with a shot off the side of the cage, and the rebound. He corrals and spins at the circle. Coming right back toward the slot, looking at his options, threw into the front, and that one just a little bit off target. I don't think Cloutier saw that puck. Cougars still trying to force the pressure on, and Bowers will come out with it. No 1-on-2. He'll try and take on Jurgensen and Lucas. Lucas with a beautiful poke play, and Jurgensen will follow up with the same thing, and now it is Rainer. Ahead to Carlson in a scary 3-on-2. Carlson, Jurgensen, down low, off the pad of Cloutier. He was trying to get it to Rainer, so it seems, and there's 7:31 to go. 13-1 still your score in the third.
Now, Zach, there are two names that I think deserve a nod. One is Cole Eastman, who has officially exited this game. His day is done with 7.5. They're putting in Wesley Martin. The other name you got to give a pat on the back to is Logan Cloutier. Yes, you've given up 13 goals, but it can be hard to stay in this game and make some of the saves that he's making when you've given up that many goals. But Cole Eastman, the Cougs are up 13-1, and he's only, ever since the first when Chen Yu-sung got that goal, he has been flawless. A clinic in the crease, and he finally gets to catch his breath, sit on the bench, and take a rest, and let Wesley Martin handle the rest for the remaining 7.5.
And Rainer puts home his second of the game off the left post and in, just a snipe from the top of the right circle. And so now 2 touchdowns have been scored on Gonzaga, despite not having a football team in almost 100 years. And the Cougars will make it 14-1. And, of course, Wesley Martin in the game. We haven't seen him since the game against UW at Tri-Cities. He came in for the final 6-ish minutes and was 3 for 3 with a 1,000 save percentage. A good performance against the top team who won it all this year. About 7 minutes to go now flat. Taylor dumps it in off the backhand. Able to shake a man off and then fight McLaren Young for this puck. And King will come out with it. Push it back for Taylor, who's tied up with Powers. Taylor just trying to kind of one-hand push that one back to the slot. Couldn't do it. Powers with an opportunity here as well, breaking it out. He's got Young, but then stops right at the blue line and forces Young to come back onside. Loose puck taken by Keegan Lucas, now trying to dance through everybody. Falls down and a fired shot by Taylor. A wound-up howitzer is pushed out into the mesh. No penalty against Lucas, and I thought he might have drawn a trip, but not quite. 6:25 to go left in the third.
You have got to love Wesley Martin getting the nod here on senior night, getting to make one of his few appearances on the year. And, Wesley Martin's a guy who has improved drastically. He was with the Cougs last year. That was his first year. And since then, he's been getting better and better and better, not getting very much ice time. It's hard when you're competing with Alexi Cool, Drew Ramsey at that point, who are two of the best goaltenders in the conference. But he just continues to improve, continues to get better. He's the heart of this team. He's a guy who's got a lot of energy and just is a real glue guy on the Cougs.
Son Kochton. Backhands one down low for Bowers and a nice little handoff sweep play. Kochton will throw it back to Claudier. At the point, shooting save. Rebound is covered by Wesley Martin. And welcome to the game, Wesley Martin with 6 minutes to go.
I mentioned it before, you love to see him get into this game. He had a flawless performance against UW in that 10-0 blowout in Tri-Cities. That was just a really good debut for him to get his kind of Cougar debut on the year. Go out there and have a scoreless performance in a game where you just need him to stop the bleeding, and he did that. He stopped the bleeding against the Huskies, and right now, you're not bleeding, you're just trying to coast to the end of this game, so no one better than Wesley Martin to just be a solid tender for the last few minutes.
And he is now 1 for 1, and Keenan regaining control. We'll bank it ahead for Smith. Like you said, another senior on this team, but not quite leaving like the man who just put that one into the mesh. Sahovinen off a skate and out of play with 5:36 to go in period 3. Still, of course, 14-1, as you are able to see on the visual scoreboard on your screen at home. Just over 5.5 minutes to go, and like we've talked about, really no better way to go out for the seniors that have the last 5.5 minutes left of their career as a Cougar. Couldn't ask for anything better. Keenan now fighting for it, and he will carry it in offside. Jurgensen and company couldn't quite get back. 5:24 to go, and a face-off outside Bulldogs territory.
Now, normally in offsides like that, which was pretty sloppy, in a normal game, in a closer game, you might see the Cougs get a little bit frustrated at themselves. Lupinacci would definitely be a little irate from behind the bench. But when you're leading 14-1, you can afford to be offsides like that and get kicked out to the neutral zone because you're going to have plenty of opportunities.
Look out here. Keenan turns it over. Eaton fumbled the opportunity, though. He could have easily had a breakaway against Wesley Martin. Carlson waiting now at the half wall. But Nelson took that one away, and a fired shot turned out by Wesley Martin again, and the rebound cleared by Ballard. He's able to dance around a couple and make a rush up the wing. Lex Ballard sent it across. Carlson regains control, poked away from him, and Gillick. Opportunity for the Zags, perhaps. Gillick offside as the puck went off of his stick. This one fired from Oatman right into Rayner's side. He was holding that with his glove. Carlson comes back into the zone. Nice toe drag move. Can he dance around? Swatted away by the big goalie stick of Claudier. Nelson now in below the goal line, trying to calm it down for his team. It careens out to the slot. Robinson maybe looking for another, and he's tripped up on the play. Logan Powers, the guilty one, going, and he'll go for a trip. 4:26 to go, and now just another opportunity for the Cougars to get another.
It feels weird to say, but if you're the Cougs, you're kind of lucky that that gets called because you're up 14-1. You would sometimes expect some refs to be, okay, that was a penalty, but I'm probably not going to call it. I want to go home early. I want to go get some lunch, get something to eat, go home, watch the game. But no, they call that. They're going to extend this game a little bit longer, and now the Cougs have another power play. So again, if you're the Cougs, you're just lucky that you got that call because in blowouts like this, it can be really easy for refs to just not call something like that.
I think that's what we saw against Keegan Lucas earlier he got tripped up there, and it's probably a pretty obvious trip, but of course, again, you're up more than 10 goals. You're probably not always going to get that call as Lazaro speeds in at the right circle. Lazaro looking for maybe a wraparound, goes around the cage and looks at his options. Backhands one for Robinson. He has 2 tonight himself. Keenan sent down hard to the ice in front of the net. No penalty called there. Hembry getting away from harm's way, through under the front, off the back of the cage, and Hembry losing it. And now backhands one on for Robinson and his counterpart. Playing a little bit of different position here. Hembry as C-Chance breakout for Colin Keenan from the Wazoo bench. Robinson gets the cleared puck and gives it off for Sahovanen. 3:35 to go and 1:09 left on the Cougar power play. Here he comes, Mr. C. Colin Keenan shoots one on net. He is hammered by Bang. And then this one thrown to the front for Hembry, and that one just poked away. And Lazaro will chase after it and beat Bowers to this puck. Both coasting toward the rubber biscuit. 47 to go on the power play. Keenan comes off the ice, and the Mr. C chance cease. Lazaro cannot find his way through the pack of dogs that was there at the line. Bowers to the high slot, trying to dance around. Lucas cannot. Robinson floats one ahead for Hembry. And the 2 defensemen leading the rush. Hembry goes around the cage, tries to just jam one out front, not quite. And then Hembry threw another one on net, blocked away to the corner. Hembry spinning shot one more time and just whistled by that left post, directed in front. Robinson trying to sauce to Hembry. He lost it, 2:37 to go. Lucas off the stick of Bowers. 8 seconds left on the power play. This one thrown down low for Lucas. Taken by Sahovanen, slapped on for Lazaro. Lazaro trying to spin away from trouble, and that is Powers. Giving him fits. He gets away from it anyway. Lazaro tries to sauce that one down low. Robinson from a bad angle. Goes around the cage instead. Surveys the field here. And Lucas, and that one kind of a miscommunication, and now Kochton moving in, and he is all alone. Save made. Wesley Martin shrugged it aside. Kochton again leaves it off Bowers, top of the slot, trying to dance through himself. Has it on his backhand and holds at the circle. Sent one to the front. Save made again. Wesley Martin keeps it out. Sun sent it down low, and that will go below the goal line, taken by Lazaro, beating Bowers to the puck. This one given away out in front. Kochton down low, and they score. It is Sun on a horrible giveaway, and they've made it 14-2 with 1:35 to go in the third period, and they cut the lead to 12.
I feel horrible. Wesley Martin, your team failed you. You had 3 awesome saves. Awesome, capital A, phenomenal saves late in this game, and they turn it over and they let Sun get his second goal of the game. That is not your fault. Wesley Martin has been great thus far.
Hung out to dry, absolutely. Back to the drawing board for these Cougars. But of course, 14-2, they lead by 12 and have dominated on a very important night. Colin Keenan touches this one up for an icing with just 78 seconds remaining in the season. And obviously you see Jurgensen, Keenan, Sahovanen, and Hembry all on the ice together with Rayner. And you'd imagine they spend the last seconds and minute 18 left on the ice. One more time, one last shift all together. Here's a wraparound attempt by Sahovanen, couldn't get it to go. 1:07 left, and you just love to see Sahovanen get one maybe in the last minute or so. You'd love to see Hembry get one. Obviously, you would really love to see Colin Keenan get one, as Jurgensen has quite a few. He has an array of points tonight, including a goal of his own. Hembry shoots that one on target, blocked away by Slye again. 62 seconds, and now down to a minute. Sahovanen. Hembry faked the drive and then gets around Oatman. Puck is cleared up the wall and out of the zone. Taken by Keenan. Backhands it across ice, Sahovanen. Leaves it off in backhand fashion for Jurgensen. Spun it there. Sahovanen a shot, and that one again whistled wide. 42 seconds to go. Hembry at the point. Fires one well wide of the cage into the corner. Retrieved by Jurgensen. Threw one to the side of the net. Sahovanen trying to jam it home and couldn't do it. It comes back to Jurgensen, the rolling puck on the edge. 28 seconds to go. Hembry walks in, fires, and that one is stopped, and the rebound is covered up by Claudier with 21.2 seconds to go.
Just feeling bad for Sam Hembry. He's had so many opportunities, and Claudier kind of feels like the villain here. It's like kicking a puppy. You got a senior who has his opportunity to get his first goal, and you just keep denying him again and again and again on senior night. You know, it's like hard to root for Logan Claudier, even though he's given up 14 goals.
He's given up a lot, but just not to the seniors. This one loose out in front. Jurgensen trying to find a backhand there, could not. Jurgensen maybe trying to find Hembry out front. That one goes up the wall and all the way down. And 5 seconds to go. Sun might have a break. Cannot corral the puck. Fired on net. Stopped by Wesley Martin. That is the horn. And the conclusion of a great season for the Cougars and a great career for the 4 seniors graduating who have just played in their final game. With Colin Keenan, Sam Hembry, Sahovanen, and Jurgensen all end up finishing their careers here at Washington State. And a 14-2 win. You couldn't ask for anything better. Of course, maybe goals all around for those guys, but Jurgensen getting on the board with a multi-point night and a goal of his own. And, of course, everyone seeming to have fun and earning that fun, like you said.
No better senior send-off for those 4 than a 14-2 win, 12-goal margin. It's just absolutely insane. Jurgensen, Sahovanen, Colin Keenan. I mean, these are guys that didn't always start in the same place, didn't have the same path to get here to Washington State, but at the end of the day, they're all Cougs. Cougs support Cougs. Think of guys like Luke Jurgensen, who transferred in this year. He hasn't been a Coug for that long, only for a few months, but he's getting the love. He's getting shown love down there on the ice by this band of brothers, the boys in the crimson and gray. This is a great win against a team that's no slouch. The scoreboard does not show you the true discrepancy in skill between these two teams. Gonzaga is a much better team, but the Cougs brought it on senior night. Of course, like you mentioned, only one senior was able to actually get a goal tonight. That was Luke Jurgensen. Everybody else was unable to, but it was not from a lack of trying. They were trying to give Colin Keenan the puck, similarly to Hogan the puck, Sam Hembry the puck, numerous opportunities. They're going to thank all the fans here at the Palouse Ice Rink. They are all super excited to see a great performance from their boys. They got treated to a treat of a hockey game on senior night. No better time to put up a 14-goal performance.
It was an incredible senior send-off, if you will, and if any tears, the one time really you might see tears after a huge win like that, 14-2, in a final game for 4 of the guys wearing the black and crimson. And it looks like photos and things of that nature will begin on the ice here as they look to soak in the final moments of being on this ice in these colors and wearing their school pride as a team picture looks to break out here. What a game. What a game. Truly, what a game to finish off your career on for those 4 guys.
And it wasn't just the seniors as well. Wesley Martin getting the nod late in the game to come in. This was a win by committee for the Cougs. So many different goal scorers. Yes, Cole Carlson had a hat trick plus another goal. He had 4 goals. He matches what he did last night as well. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. There were 10 more goals, and they came from a variety of different faces. Not all seniors, but the seniors, they might not have scored, but they were able to help in a variety of different ways, whether that was assists, whether that was laying hits, whether that was passing, whether that was what have you. They all had some way of contributing to this win, this 14-2 win, dominant win. I mean, it was, like you mentioned, a phenomenal game, a great game for Washington State, and a great game to cap off a great season. Didn't necessarily end the way they wanted in playoffs, got knocked out round 1 by USC. But if this game right here, 14-2, is any indication, next year, the 2026-2027 season could be a good one.
And it's going to be exciting. And, I mean, obviously one stat I'd just like to point out before we ended here. If you took everyone's goals away but Cole Carlson's, the Cougars win 4-2. They still win, and that's 10 goals you're taking off the board. That is just the pure domination that was showcased tonight by the Cougars and their high-powered offense. And obviously Cole Eastman getting most of the game and Wesley Martin coming in. And unfortunately, he was left out to dry on one of those goals, but nothing to hang anyone's heads about for that, as the seniors will get their final ice time. We will also get our final time in here. The season has come to an end, and you won't see our faces, unfortunately, for probably about 6 months, at least not in this setting. Hockey is over as we know it until then. But, of course, we have things to look forward to, like playoff hockey coming up for the NHL. But, of course, we will be back with you in September for my final season, and you'll have these two with after that, of course. But thank you for joining us once again. It has been a wonderful season with you all. I'm Zach McFarlane, joined by Smith Slye, and, of course, wonderful Connor Simmons behind the camera. He's been incredible tonight. We all thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe to KUGR if you love watching us. And, of course, we'll be back. Give us 6 months, September. We'll be right back here. Thank you all. Have a good night.